Okay, I assume that's going. Hey guys!
Hello.
Hi.
Nice. Hey, Hikaze Princess here for anyone who's already watching. This is my Avatar stream. Sorry we're starting a little bit later than I'd anticipated. Probably didn't do as much prep as I should have, but with me I have some of my friends tonight. Guys, please introduce yourselves.
Kaiju Otaku. Kaiju Otaku.
I'm Kaga Kusanagi.
Okay, so ahead of Netflix's live action Avatar series due out this week, I believe. I don't know how they're going to release it. This is just a general Avatar chat. Start off with the OG show, fandom. If y'all can remember how you got into it, that'd be great. And just general, any expectations we have for the show moving forward and whatever happens after that. So, Kaiju, if you'd like to start, do you remember how you got into Avatar?
Okay, so I started the first season like years ago, like I'd say probably 2017 when my friend bought the DVD set and me and my friends watched like a couple episodes. My roommate now watched like I'd say like all of it like years ago when it first aired on TV. I kind of hopped on it very 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 late. So definitely not too late to start though. And fast forward now, I'm kind of into it, but I haven't gotten completely knee deep into the fandom.
Okay,
So yeah,
yeah.
that's how I got into it.
And Kaga, how about you?
Um, I got into it from a close friend of mine. Avatar is her favorite thing of all time, so she got me into it about, I want to say, 10 years ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I have some other friends who are into it too.
Nice. I can't really remember how I got into it. I remember seeing promos for it on TV, and I think I remember seeing him do the scooter thing and crash into the statue. But, and it's either I think I remember seeing promos for the Day of Black Sun invasion. I don't remember. I think I watched that, but that's what season 3 is really fuzzy in my memory from back then. It was like after the series finished airing, I sat down and watched it all the way through.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I didn't even know that there was a point in season 3, spoiler alert, where Aang has hair. I didn't know
I
that for
know.
a long
I was
time.
so surprised to see that.
what
It
I
was a good look for him.
what that just kind of blew my mind. I was not expecting that. Like in season three, I didn't even finish season three. I just started where I left off at, which was at like the beginning of season two, like the first two episodes is where I kind of left off at after finishing season one. And
Right.
then, yeah, that's kind of where I started for season two.
It's something you never really think about is because, but I mean, if you watch, I think it's Tales of Ba Sing Se when they're all getting ready in the morning, Aang's actually shaving his head. So I'm like, he has to do this often. And then he's out for a couple weeks, suddenly the hair grows back.
Time skip. That's the word I'm going to use. Or
Well,
time bump.
I mean, yes, but I don't know if it's kind of comforting that they didn't think to shave his head for him while he was unconscious. I mean,
Hmm.
who wants your friends to do that?
I mean, unless if you're Zuko, I guess. Maybe. I
And
mean,
that's another thing. I want to know, what was he doing that too? Because 3 years he looks like that. He cuts off his ponytail and suddenly his hair starts to grow back.
I, honestly, I'm trying to. Yeah, he did cut his hair. I thought it was because he got burnt.
Well, I think that's why it looks like that to start with. But then once they're banished, they cut off their top knots, and suddenly Zuko's hair starts growing back.
Okay, that,
I'm like, so what? Has he just been maintaining that for 3 years? Is that what that was?
like there's actually years in this not anime. I was gonna say anime. TV show.
You
There's
could
actually
say anime. It technically counts.
okay, whatever. But yeah, I did not know there was years in that. Like in the anime. Like it doesn't specify like certain time frames
Well,
when whatever character goes through
I
what.
just I just know that I think this was the beginning of season 2 where Azula comes and tries to capture them and they're like, "Oh, it's the anniversary, isn't it?" And he's like, "Yes, 3 years ago my father banished me."
Oh, I was gonna get to Azula.
Yeah.
She's crazy. Even in her childhood, she's crazy. Even she's like
Yes.
mean to her brother, which is awful. Like, why are you doing this to your brother? You're mean for doing this type of thing.
Yes, and that's a whole question of what the heck was going on with her.
I don't like Azula.
Well, to
I
be
don't like
honest, I
her at
don't
all.
think anyone really does, but at a certain point, you kind of start to feel sorry for her because you find out there are some deep-rooted issues there that she's
I
not
Clearly,
feel like it.
You like
I
it,
feel
Cock?
like it should have gotten more into it, like
Well,
more details.
I think they do in the post-series comics.
Oh, okay.
there's a comic book
Yeah, the
for.
comics
There's
canon.
like 3 at least.
Oh,
I have one of them and I can't remember what it's called, but this one picks up right after the last episode. Like
Ooh.
immediately after that, things going and it gets a little weird because anybody in what was called the Fire Nation colonies, Zuko tries to send them back to where they lived before. Like all the Earthbenders he sends back to the Earth Kingdom, but they had been living in Fire Nation colonies for so long they don't know anything else. So it's like, we can send you guys back to Ba Sing Se, and we're like, we've never been there. We don't know what it's like.
right. Oh yeah, another thing I wanted to like go over regarding Toph. I still on the topic, but like
Yes,
regarding is it Toph or Toph?
Toph.
Well,
Okay, I was right the first time. Like the whole like her being blind and her parents sheltering her a little bit and making her fight and whatnot.
Well, her
Was
parents
there
don't
any?
make her fight.
Well, she chose it, but like her parents wanted she wanted to be protected, not one, but her parents wanted to protect her. And I'm just like, because she's blind, and I'm like, and she did not let that stop her, which I kind of like. I like that trait with Toph, like not letting her like thing stop her from helping Aang.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, I thought that was like really cool in the show, and
And
of
I'm not
course, her parents had to like what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of flip the handle and be like, oh, our daughter's been captive by the Avatar. I'm like, y'all
Yeah,
are awful parents.
and I'm not saying it wasn't coming from a good place or anything, like, what parent doesn't wanna protect their child, but whether your child has a handicap or not, you encourage them. You help
Exactly.
them live with whatever it is. You teach them how to be their own person. These people just I think just could not cope with that or something. Like, they never
Yeah.
really came to terms with it.
Yeah, like I mean, it kind of hit in a like it hit me in a really weird way, not in a kind of positive way near the end, but like midway through, I'm like, okay, these parents are like just not cool, and like they're oh, another thing I wanted to mention with the fight against Boulder.
Oh,
This is a little trivia that my friend told me. Apparently Boulder is supposed to be based off of the Rock. The rest of it,
yes.
I did not know that until my friend pointed that out. I'm like,
I found that
oh,
out when I found out he was voiced by Mick Foley, who is also a wrestler and friends with The Rock.
okay, I did not know that either.
But I mean, he kind of looks like how Dwayne Johnson looked back then.
I mean, makes sense. And also, this is one thing I noticed. Let me find out what episode it was really quick in my notes. I noticed in like episode 5 in Avatar Day, like the first 5-10 minutes when they were like when the soldiers show up, and they just throw a stick of dynamite at Aang, and he just like kicks it out of the way. And I was like, he just kicks it far away, and I'm like, what's the blast radius of this? And then just like it's not super big, and I'm just like, okay, you could have just like thrown it at this fire soldier maybe instead of just like kicking it off to the side for your win. I noticed that
Right.
like in the first like 5 times. It's just a small like not a nitpick, but I just found that hilarious. I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna kick this and throw it off to the side instead of just throwing it at the fire soldier.
Well, it could have just been a firecracker and not like a
No,
sticky.
it was an explosive. It wasn't a firecracker. It was an explosive.
Hmm.
This was like in episode 5,
Is this in
and also,
season one?
no, season 2.
Oh.
Like it was the 5th episode. Like, cause I'm
Oh,
watching them like not out of order, but like in order. But
right.
I kind of had to use my DVD set because my first stick was just being wonky.
Oh,
But yeah,
that's the one where they're blaming Avatar
yeah,
killing.
yeah. Over 300
Oh
like
yeah.
Yes.
like
I
a
was like,
murder in a past life. I'm just like, what? Why are you blaming this kid? He didn't do anything.
exactly. I mean, yes, the Avatar is the same person constantly reincarnated, but they each have different lives.
They're different people.
Yes. And that's another thing. I, that's kind of a sticking point with me. The guru that tried to help Aang reach the Avatar state, he said, you have to let go of earthly attachments, your feelings for other people. I'm like, hang on. Avatar Roku had a wife and a family. Why does he get to have earthly attachments, but Aang has to forego them? I mean, seriously.
And also with Zuko stealing food and just a bunch of other stuff from other villagers, that kind of I'm just like without honor. He's like, oh, I don't care about my honor. I'm just doing this because I want to. With
Well,
Zuko,
I
like
think that's yeah. That was because he had a
sorry,
he had a preset idea of what he thought honor was, and I guess he thought
yeah,
he
he
was
went
trying
on
to
a
get
thieving
back there.
spree. He went
Yeah.
on a thieving spree. And was like, why is he doing this? Like, oh, I just don't have any honor. I'm like, okay, but you could just like do something or whatever because he couldn't capture the Avatar or
Well,
Aang.
but like even when he was looking for Aang, he was to a degree still living a life of luxury. Azula basically takes that all away. He doesn't know how to adjust to it.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like, it was like, I don't know. It was like, I know it kind of messed with me a little bit. I'm like, why are you doing this? You could have just, asked or like, I don't know. And he did it in such a like, like what's the word I'm looking for? Like in a violent way. He was just like, oh, cut. I'm just gonna take this from you. Cut. Take that from you. That like he did
Yeah.
that in like episode 5 too as well. Yeah, it was episode 5. And also the whole community service jokes in the 5th episode when Aang was
Oh,
about to be executed. I was like, that made me
yeah.
laugh so hard.
Gosh, I'd love to help you, but I'm supposed to be boiled in oil.
Yeah, and of course Sokka throwing a pipe at one of the archers, and it just like I don't know, it just the arrow just doesn't work. That was another detail I noticed in episode
Yeah.
5 that made me giggle.
Sokka Holmes.
Yeah.
Sokka's great.
Yeah.
What else? Also, another dumb small detail I noticed that made me giggle too in episode 5 was Sokka just smoking a bubble pipe that's a dragon. I'm like, okay, that's
Yeah.
kind of funny and like
That
fairly what's the word G-rated.
well, that I think they threw in just to keep up the Sherlock Holmes theme, but also to
Yeah,
make it
and
kid
like
friendly.
yeah, and with Sokka trying to figure out the murder, he's like, oh, I'm gonna take this hat and I'm gonna just do a Sherlock Holmes type of thing.
It's a lot better than if 4 kids said it, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to do a forensic kit of something that happened long before Aang was even born.
Also, the whole, this was, I think, I don't remember what episode it was, like 7 or 8, I think, or 6, but like the part where they have like lack of sleep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they kept
Yes.
messing up because Zula and her crew were like chasing after them like for like God knows how many hours. I'm just like, okay, Zula, you're savage for doing this and not letting them rest.
It's like, doesn't Azula get tired too?
Yeah, like
Oh, she's fueled by vengeance, so she doesn't
yeah,
need to
makes
sleep.
sense. And
Then
also, you kind of learn the importance of rest. you know,
Yes.
and not being sleep deprived.
Yeah.
I just like the stars are real pretty tonight. Too bad Toph can't see them.
Of
Oh,
course, Sokka just like after getting knocked out, just like just falls down. It's like, well, I'm defeated.
It's
well, I think
interesting how there's like an episode of that, and then in season 3, it kind of does the same thing where Aang doesn't
yes,
even sleep.
yes. The only
Um,
difference is Aang wasn't being chased by anybody.
Yeah.
God,
yeah,
that
Aang was just like
episode.
sitting there, like, I'm just gonna sit here and wait for Azula just to come at me. He just like just starts falling asleep, and then Zuko just pops out of the corner and just like knocks her out. And that's where the whole like elemental fight breaks out.
Yes.
Like that was like in episode 8, I think. I don't. It was either 7 or 8. I need to look that up eventually, but I do distinctly remember Azula just trying to fight all four of them: Toph, Aang, and Zuko.
Yeah, it
Yeah, and
was
then
around
she
there because it happened right after Toph joined.
yeah, because then she attacks Iroh, and the whole next episode is him trying to teach Zuko how to redirect lightning.
Yeah. Oh, that and the factor that like Zuko fell off of a building was just hilarious. Like during that fight, whole entire fight, like while chasing Zula around and
Well,
Aang too. I'm just like,
yeah.
man, Zuko, you are not in the game.
Well, to be fair, that was that whole thing reminded me of one of those cliched Western frontier towns.
Oh yeah, the whole abandoned town thing.
Yeah, like a ghost
Yeah,
town.
I didn't think about that.
It probably was, but that's what I remember thinking about.
Also, did you notice anything with the swamp episode that I kind of want to point out?
What's that?
So the whole, well, not the tree of life, but the people in the swamp,
Yeah, the
Louisiana, like the
yeah.
way they talk and present themselves. I thought that was kind of funny,
Well, that's why
and also
they had a pet alligator.
and that too. And they tried to capture Momo. I'm like, why are you doing this to Momo? Why are you
What do
trying
you
to turn him into food?
what do you reckon that thing is, Bo?
Exactly, like they made a Louisiana type of deal.
Oh
Um,
man.
totally forgot what my friend said about the tree of life, like the whole like Earth thing with the tree of life that they have that connects to everything
Hmm.
in the swamp area. I forgot what it was, but it was something to do with like, oh my god, I forgot what it was, but something to do with Earth or something like that. It was when Aang was having those what's it called visions after like touching the
Yeah,
earth. Yeah.
and that's when he first saw Toph.
Oh yeah. That. Yep. I do remember that part. And I was like, that's interesting.
Well, it's like, and I think that he figured out that the tree was trying to tell him, or someone was trying to tell him, "This is your earthbending teacher. Go find her."
Yeah. Wait, I have a question. Does Toph actually teach Aang? I mean, I'm only on episode 9. I finished up episode 8, but I'm on episode 9. But does Toph actually teach Aang earthbending?
Yeah,
Like, oh, okay. I thought he learned it on his own for a minute.
yeah. It started with I don't know. They're in some kind of ravine. Sokka ends up getting stuck in that hole with the baby moose lion cub.
I thought that
Uh,
was cute.
When he finally does it, she's like, "Ah, Aang, let me take this. You might hurt him."
also, wasn't there an episode of bloodbending?
Oh
I
God.
I have
Yeah.
not
Oh,
gotten that far, but I
yeah.
want to see that episode. I don't. I think is it on season 2 or 3?
3.
I think it was
Okay.
free.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a little bit of ways to go before that. I just know about the bloodbending. That's all I know, and I know what blood does in the body and how it works if you bend it.
That was a very crazy twist.
That oh my gosh, that's
Like, I completely forgot that we're made out of water.
yes. And I think that might have been the first time where you start to think, hey, it's not just air, water, earth, and fire. There's like sub elements. Like
Yep.
metal bending is part of earth bending, lava bending, I think, is part of fire bending.
Like there's
But
firebending in the show, not firebending, lava bending.
um I think it was that was more Legend of Korra than The Last Airbender, but someone figures it out like Bolin was trying to learn how to metal bend and he couldn't, and they couldn't figure out why, but suddenly he starts lava bending and they're like, all right, maybe that's it.
Did not know there was metal bending in that. Oh wait, yeah. Oh, I just remembered a scene from the show like that I kind of saw in a review. I kind of spoiled like half of it for myself. But I distinctly remember there was like this one episode where they were in a metal prison and I forgot which bender couldn't bend metal, and they had to like seclude themselves or not seclude, but oh my god, they couldn't basically bend with their will. I might be thinking of the movie, or I might be thinking. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be thinking of the show, or I might be thinking of the movie because there is one episode, or it's in the movie. I don't remember, but I just
I don't.
remember like seeing like this one scene where they're like in a oh my god, in a metal like cage or room, and they can't like bend because they're earthbenders. That's it.
The
Do you
Earth.
remember any episode relating to that? Because I kind of remember.
I
I
remember something, but not anything else, like detail wise.
I
Okay.
remember some things like that, like when you said cages and they couldn't bend.
What
It
was
had
a
me think.
room? It's a room that's like not earthy. It's just all metal.
Oh, that
I
was
don't remember
the
that.
prison ship.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Was that season 3 or 2?
that's
Free?
season. I want to say season 1.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Okay, that's
Yeah,
combined.
because it was like it was either before or after they met Jet.
Oh,
God, Jet is like the opposite of Sokka. I
By
completely forgot about
so
him, even though
much.
he's minor. Even
So
though he's a
much.
minor character, but like, yeah, Jet's like really cocky compared to Sokka.
Well, I mean, and that's why Sokka tries to stop him when he tries to drown that whole village.
I completely forgot about that, and I'm trying to remember other stuff from season 1 that I'm trying to piggyback off of. Oh my god, I can't remember
I
season
just
1 that well. I just remember season 2 and a couple of like things from season 1.
right. And I like the episode where they meet Jet just for when they meet his gang and they're like, "Oh, Pipsqueak, that's a funny name." And the big guy, "You think my name's funny?" He's like, "It's hilarious." Like, "Yes, it is."
that was
The
a
big
great
guy.
part.
Yes, I like the Duke. He's
Yeah, off topic, not off topic, but on topic, but like the part in episode 5, Avatar Day, like it's like when Aang is trying to like what's the word plead his innocence or whatever. He
oh,
ends up he ends up messing that up, and I'm just like, and Sokka's just like trying to give him hints like say this, say that, and it's like okay, and you really messed up.
well, but then Avatar Kyoshi comes through and says exactly
Yeah,
what happened, and he's like, "What, guys? What just happened? Like, you
and
just basically
the
just
judge is like,
confessed."
oh, you're guilty. The judge is like, oh, you're guilty. I'm like, well, I guess you didn't see the ghost that just popped up. Okay.
Well, no, they did, but she admitted to killing him.
Yeah, and then through Aang's body, of course. But
Yeah.
I'm just like, you're dealing with a murder that happened 300 years ago, but why are you still like, accusing the kid?
But
Or
it's
like,
like in a later episode, she explains it again to Aang, and he's like, "Oh, so you didn't kill him? He was just too stubborn to move out of the way." And she's like, "Personally, I don't see the difference."
hmm.
So I'm like, "Yeah, you're the serious type, I can tell."
And I would like to talk a little bit about the movie. I want to rip into it a
Yes.
little because there are some like I haven't seen the movie yet. I just seen a couple clips, a couple reviews, and the one thing that actually kind of stood out to me was that one scene where the Earthbenders just bent a single rock. Please explain that. Like,
Well, just
why do all the cool stuff in the show and then have it be one singular rock in the movie? I'm just like, why?
well, that's not saying Earthbenders couldn't move a single rock if that's all they wanted to.
But it was like 3 or 4 Earthbenders. Like, they could have done multiple rocks.
Well, I just remember the people I talk to on a semi-regular basis that hate the movie was just they the firebenders weren't producing fire. It had to be from a nearby source, and they're
Oh
like,
yeah, I do
"Why is
distinctly
that?"
remember hearing about that.
Yeah, I
And
didn't.
also, can you explain to me about the name pronunciation? Like they pronounce Ang Ong, and they pronounce I.
I
Is it
Hero,
Wong?
yeah, I don't understand that at all. I had heard the creators were executive producers on the movie, but I don't know where that came from. Like, were they trying to be accurate to the to the culture's languages or what? I don't know what that was about.
Wow. And also, fun fact: the Avatar movie, the one that M Night Shyamalan did, was based off of a musical. Apparently, from what one of my friends told me, I might be right or wrong about this. I haven't like Googled it or thoroughly researched it, but I heard it was based off of the musical in a weird like
There's a
way.
based off an Avatar musical?
I believe. I'm not 100% sure. Like that's what one of my friends told me, but I, hold up. Sorry if I'm like googling shit on stream, but I'm just
I
curious.
get it, but I have never heard of an Avatar musical.
I never have either. Now that I think about it, I'm just like, I mean, there's plenty of media for everything. Heck, there's the Evil Dead musical as well. I don't know
This
if y'all are into Evil Dead, but there is a musical for that.
I mean, there are musicals for just about everything nowadays,
I mean, yeah.
but
It's recently like I'm trying not to get off topic, but like silence used to scare me as a kid, but now I think the aliens are dumb.
mm,
M Night Shyamalan is not very good at writing. Or
well,
I mean,
I'm let's
they're
let's
writing.
not ignore the fact that he's known for twist endings or plot twists.
Yeah,
And
and
on
that
that
leads.
subject, Avatar, like The Last Airbender, was probably the only movie he's ever been a part of that didn't have a surprise twist. Like we
And a
knew what was
lame
coming.
cliffhanger that we will never get, or that we don't want. We'll
Well,
just leave off with that cliffhanger.
I mean, it kind of. I don't know if this was intentional or if there's any truth to that they were gonna do 3 movies. I remember saying at the time, I don't care what they do with Toph as long as she's blind and sarcastic. That's all I want.
I mean, I haven't seen. Like I said, I haven't. I only know bits and pieces about the movie, and I'm just like, I just want to rip it into a few things. They kind of me being a nitpicker, so I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna nitpick that, and also the acting is very what's the word stilted, like just bland. Like
Well,
Sokka has like no emotion.
to a degree, yes. But at the time, the only thing I remember hearing controversy wise was the racial casting.
Oh yeah, we call it whitewashing, I guess.
Well, and I don't know at what point this became a thing because I did looking into the background of the movie. They had originally cast a white guy to play Zuko, but that guy had to drop out for various reasons. Then I don't know who else they went through before settling on Dev Patel, but yeah, that wasn't their first choice, people.
Hmm.
I mean, if that, I don't know if that was in any way intentional.
I have a question. What was the merchandising for Avatar like years ago? Like I said, I got into Avatar very late, like around like I said 2017. So I don't know
Wow.
what like items. I'm just curious like what the merchandise line was or whatever. Like as in like how they sold the prop not the property. How they marketed it. Marketing. That's the word I'm looking for. Marketed Avatar back then.
That's a topic I know very little about, especially from my own experience. I know they probably had figurines, plush toys if we're talking about Appa,
Yeah.
video games, which I've never played, but yeah, I know they had stuff. I mean, T-shirts, obviously.
Right. Like you would think they would probably market it like in like a SpongeBob, not SpongeBob, like even with some DVDs, they would like probably put ads on or something regarding like hey, watch this if you like I don't know like Danny Phantom or something like that because it's a Nickelodeon property.
I have not seen that on the DVD, but then again, I still
I've
haven't
seen
opened my.
SpongeBob like ads on my DVD while watching Avatar and was like, okay, I'm gonna fast forward this because I just want to watch the show, and I still want to watch more of it.
Yeah, I don't think my copy has anything like that, but I usually see, like, for something like this that airs on TV, I usually see something like, As Seen on Nickelodeon, watch Tuesdays at 8 or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's kind of like what like I remember while watching SpongeBob, and I didn't like I said I didn't get into Avatar until like really late.
Right.
So I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna watch this later.
But
If
that
anything,
just
I was
makes
more on Cartoon Network than
yeah, but
Nickelodeon.
and that just shows me how much I didn't know at the time or I've forgotten since, but in going back and watching the Avatar episodes, I'm guessing someone uploaded these straight from airing or whatever, because there's a handful of episodes where they'll like throw up a banner all of a sudden, be like, this Friday at 7:30, something's happening. There's a tune in Thursday night to see Chalk Zone. I'm like, oh god, I forgot about that show.
Oh wow.
I do
Yeah,
remember Chalk Zone like years ago. Like I said,
me too.
Yeah, I remember very little of it, but I remember it being a thing.
I do remember that show, but I watched probably like one or two episodes. But like I said, I feel bad for getting into Avatar really late. I really do. A little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I was in high school when some of it was going on, and I know I got into it before I graduated. I just can't remember exactly when.
Yeah, my friends got into it like my friend watched it like probably in middle or high school. Avatar came out like what 2007.
Ah, something like that, I think.
2005, I think, when it first started.
Yeah. So I'm like, if I had paid attention, I could have watched it my entire high school existence, but I didn't.
I was
Okay,
watching anime around that time frame.
Me too.
Avatar. Yeah, Avatar: The Last Airbender started airing in 2005.
Okay, so I wasn't far off. Um, yeah, like honestly, like I kind of skipped out on it, and I was just like, my friend watched it like years ago. He didn't tell me about it until like I'd say like probably 5-10 years later. I was like, why didn't you tell me about this show? And then my other friend bought the DVD box set, and I'm like, and we watched like through season one, and that's kind of where like beginning of season two is where I left off. But season one, I actually like, but I'm just trying to remember bits and pieces. I'm remembering bits and pieces from season one. Something has to jog my memory. So, because it was like 2017, 2016. So when we watched it.
Yeah,
So,
and if I try to think about the first episode I remember watching, for some reason the Lake Lao guy episode comes to mind. I don't know why, but that's the first one I think of.
When I was a kid, I remember seeing Avatar once on TV, and now that I've watched it, I'm pretty sure it's the episode when they go to the library. Because I remember when I was a kid, when I saw them on TV, that they were in a desert,
Yes.
and it
I
was
don't
like a
remember seeing that on TV, but that had some of Toph's best
yeah,
moments.
and it was like a 45-minute thing. I think I just remember it being a long episode.
Yes. I just like her. There it is!
Me too.
That's what it'll sound like when one of you spots it. I'm like,
oh, are you talking about that episode with the whole like reenacting of the uh like the whole entire show? Like the I think I might be thinking of the episode of what's it called the one where they see the play. You know which one
oh,
I'm
Oh
talking
the
my
Ember
god, I
about?
love
Island
that
players.
episode.
Yeah,
In
I haven't
season
seen that
2.
episode yet, but I do distinctly remember bits and pieces of it. And then, of course, we have the guy that foams at the mouth, like just spazzing out. Like
Oh,
he
It's
appears in like
foamy
it's so
season
mouth guy.
good.
two.
I love that guy.
He appears in like
Like
season two. I'm just like, where did you come from?
like in that episode, this was like in my notes of what I wanted to talk about, but the play to me, it seemed like an adventure series.
Yes. I mean, I've seen so many people cosplay the Cabbage Merchant. I want to see somebody cosplay Foaming Mouth guy. Be like, ah, ah, ah!
But let's see.
That's one example of how minor character, a background character, can literally steal the show.
And then Aang's actor was like, Zuko, your scar's on the wrong side.
Oh
Oh,
my,
oh my! And then
yes,
when they had Toph played by a buff dude, I'm just like, that made me laugh so hard. I was that season 1 or 2?
that was
Season
season 3
3.
in the Ember
Okay,
Island play.
yeah, I spoiled quite a bit for myself actually. I didn't spoil the ending, like the very ending.
Oh,
But oh wait, I did
So
actually. It ends
good.
in like one giant fight.
I
I
wish.
don't know who wins or who loses, but I just distinctly remember Zola fighting Aang or Zuko or something like that, and
Yeah,
a lot of blood, not blood, but like a lot of injuries were obtained. That's all I
yeah.
remember. And fire was just like everywhere. That's all I
I
can remember.
A couple years ago, I think this was at NecoCon. I went to an Avatar themed panel, and I don't remember exactly what went on, but they threw up a meme of the gang going to see the play with their reactions to it, and it
Mhm.
said even the Ember Island players did a better job.
Oh, I'm
And
off
then
top. Oh, sorry. Go on.
yeah, and then there was a gif of the Dai Li agent with the lantern just going around and around. He's like, "There was no movie made from our show." Like, I don't like what they're doing, but
Oh
I
my god, I like that. Even though I've never been to that panel, but I liked that idea of just like hypnotizing or pretend to hypnotize people and just be like, oh, this movie never happened. It's non-existent.
well, I don't think it was hypnotizing so much as making fun of the fact that the movie was so hated by the fandom.
I mean, I'm probably sure there's probably a small portion of somebody who likes that movie.
I mean, I like it, but that's because I try and watch it. I think of it as a standalone movie, not as an adaptation or sequel or something. Just think of it as its own movie, its own independent film, and that somehow helps.
I mean, people have said the same thing regarding the Death Note movie, the Netflix adaptation. Like, people will say, like, oh, it's like a standalone movie. Like, you can just put a different title in and it will be something else aside from Death Note.
Right. Well,
Yeah, so, I mean, it kind of makes sense from that perspective, but at the same
yeah.
time, I didn't like it.
I did that when I watched the Fullmetal Alchemist live action movie.
I have
I
not
haven't
seen it.
seen that yet, but I remember when it came out, people were like, "Why are there all Japanese actors when the characters are German?" I'm like, "It's a Japanese movie. What did you
Yeah.
expect?"
Also, I mean, sorry to get off topic for a second. There were some good live action adaptations. Attack on
Right.
Titan was one of them I liked, even though
Yeah.
it's made by Toho because I like Godzilla. It's in my name right
Yeah,
there.
kaiju.
Yeah,
It's
I
on
like
the left
Godzilla.
side.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, like there were some good adaptations of different shows.
As far
And
as anime adaptations, I feel like, well, in terms of just let's think just Netflix, Dragon Ball never even happened. As far as the evolution of American-made live action anime adaptations, Netflix went from Death Note to Cowboy Bebop to One Piece.
that's
And
one piece
now
of good.
I'm like, I never bothered with Death Note. I just knew it was going to be bad. Cowboy Bebop, I watched because I'll watch John Cho and anything. One Piece, I'm like, I'm always fair. I'll always give a live action adaptation a shot. And I ended up loving it, even though I've never seen the anime.
Same. Well, the only arc I got past in One Piece was the Sky arc. That's where I dropped off at. Entirely
I read
different
the
thing.
manga up to when Nami officially joins.
Yeah, and I know bits and pieces from friends and people I've talked to, so I'm like, I'm just looking for characters I recognize. I'm gonna
Also,
hold Avatar to the same, I'll give it a shot because I always do, but I'm basically gonna hold it to the standards of One Piece. Like, is it gonna be that good?
there was like a quote, not a quote, but something that kind of stood out to me with Uncle Arrow. Let me find it.
Oh,
It's
one
not a
of
quote,
his.
but it's something like that kind of. I'm trying to find it. Hold up. Um, Hope and inner strength is something you find, or not something you find, something you give yourself. I kind of like that quote, or like saying, or idea. I don't remember. I think it was a quote he did. I kind of like that concept because it's like you have to. They say, oops. It was like, did I say give or did it find? It was give. Yeah,
I
give
think
yourself. It's something you give yourself, so you have to like
I
I'm
get
trying to
this.
explain it with like decent, really weird way, but it's like one of those things
You're
you have to.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something that you have to find, and then you have to like figure it out. That type of deal.
right.
So I kind of like that idea.
That's like it's kind of like you don't find happiness, happiness finds you.
Yeah, that kind of deal.
Yeah, and I remember I this is partially inspired by Kaiju. I think you were there. Superstar anime in Virginia Beach.
Yes,
We
I
met
was.
we met Greg Baldwin, or at least I did, and he had a Pai Sho tattoo on his wrist. I'm like, here's an idea. I'll get one of those, but have one of Iroh's quotes around it. And I went looking for the perfect one, like, you know, simple to the point, not too long. And I settled with failure is only the opportunity to begin again.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
I also
There's
like that
more to
as
the
well.
quote, but I'm like, I'm gonna stop there because that's enough.
It's short.
Yeah.
Also, I like the fact that Uncle Aro is voiced by oh my god, what's his name in Samurai Jack?
Mako?
Mako, yeah.
Mako. Yeah, Mako, yes, and also he voiced what's his name in Samurai Jack?
Aku.
Aku, yeah. I was blanking out on the name, but yeah, I
Yes.
kind of like that. A bad guy voicing a good-hearted uncle, which leads me to a next topic I wanted to kind of talk about, like the factor that Uncle Aro got tough to sit down and just like have a nice tea with a stranger was kind of like heartwarming. Like,
He's just that kind of person.
yeah, and he also gave what's it? Yeah, when Toph was having trouble with her parents, and Uncle Aro was like, oh, just no, I have a talk with your son, not son, your
Nephew, yeah.
nephew. Yeah, yeah, I kind of like that. Like, just get to understand him better of what how he feels, that type of deal.
Yeah, and he would know more than anyone that sometimes just talking to people is you end up talking to a brick wall, like they just will not hear you.
Yeah, and also like the factor that like they what's it called, didn't Azula try to kill Uncle Aro?
Yeah, that's
Oh
when they
yeah,
all
that was
ended
like
up in that
yeah.
ghost town.
That. Yeah, I was just like, oh my god, I hate you so much, Azula. I don't like you.
Yeah,
That made me so upset. But luckily, he just took like a few minor burns.
she that's a separate issue for a team of psychiatrists to diagnose or something.
Well,
It
there's no
seems
science
like
in
like
Avatar.
throughout, like at least like when she gets introduced, it seems like she's more of the villain than Lord Ozai is.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's because she's kind of like the precursor to Ozai. You get to see her, and then you find out what he's all about. And he's honestly not much better.
Right.
I still don't like Zola's past self. She is a brat and just straight up mean to Zuko. That I was like,
W-
I don't like you.
There's a lot of people that are, I don't know, just begging not to be liked. Remember that thing when Zuko captured Aang at the North Pole? He said, "My father
Yeah,
said she was born lucky. He said I was lucky to be born." I'm like, that is a bad parent move. You don't say that to your children.
yeah, and also the factor that Zuko goes to great lengths to capture Aang, especially when he's freezing to death. That I'm just like, man, this guy's persistent. He is
Yeah.
really persistent to restore his honor.
I think they mention it later that really he thought he was trying to restore his honor, but really he just wanted his father's approval. And he
Yeah,
thought that's what he would do to get it.
yeah, and that's kind of one of those things like I don't know, like the whole approval with insert whatever being here is kind of like one of the biggest things I don't like with characters. Like, they can't accept themselves or whatever, or they want to have that approval from insert person, father figure, or whatever.
But yeah,
Um,
that's why seasons 2 and 3 are so important for Zuko's development. Like he's finding out what he really wants. and that what he thought he wanted is not all it's cracked up to be.
Right. But yeah, like I said, those are the only small amounts of notes I have. Oh, one thing I wanted to point out with Avatar cosplayers actually, um, with what's called a fan or one of those water flags that they carry. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but
Like water tribe flags.
yeah, not water flags, but the things that like kind of flow out. They're called like fan flags or something like that.
Oh, like
And
streamers?
yeah, that you can do flow with that.
Oh.
Yeah, I can actually use them for flow art. I've seen cosplayers do that type of thing at conventions. It's actually really cool.
I've seen them do that for like videos and photo ops, but
Yeah, that too.
like when they're just walking around, I haven't really noticed it.
Me
Yeah,
too.
but yeah, I would not mind actually playing with fire. Like, I don't know why, but I've had like this really weird dream where I'm just like cosplaying Zuko and just doing a bunch of cool fire stuff. So I'm just like, okay, am I going to cosplay Zuko or am I going to just like mess with
Uh,
fire and burn myself?
which version of Zuko?
Probably the one where he has hair and
So
still has a scar, like young Zuko, like from like season 1 or 2 or 3. I don't remember which Zuko it was, but it's the
This
one
is
where he has
just
like short hair.
this is just me, but I don't like the design of Zuko where his hair is literally just his ponytail and he's like bald everywhere else.
Yeah,
that's what I was
not that
saying.
one.
I don't understand that. How is he's
I don't
like that
either.
for he's
How's he
like that
maintain
for
that?
3 years, and then all of a sudden his hair grows back.
And it looks normal.
I I mean, he must have been like Aang. He must have been maintaining that constantly.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, the hell with it.
Okay, I have a question. I completely forgot about this, but like, how did Zuko get that scar on his eye?
From
Was it
his dad.
You
from?
forgot
Okay,
that part? Well,
okay. Well, she just reminded me it was from his dad. I was thinking it was probably from something different or something. My brain was just like, was it from his dad or from I don't know, like from somebody else. I know it was from fire because it's clearly a burn mark. So
right. I mean, that's why when Iroh was telling the guys on the ship the story, one of them's like, I always thought it was a training accident. And he's like, oh, it was no accident.
yeah, Zuko's father's a jerk.
He's something that one probably shouldn't say on the internet.
Honestly, I have vague memories of what his father looks like. Wasn't he surrounded by shadows or like kept in mystery?
Um, in that flashback scene where Zuko gets burned, you don't directly see his face. And even at the end of season 1 where he's sending Azula to go capture him, yeah, you don't really see his face as far as I recall until season 3. Because
Okay.
even in Zuko's flashback to when he's a kid and his mom left, you don't really see Ozai's face.
Okay, so I wasn't far off from that, the whole shrouded in mystery type of deal.
In the comics, does it say where his mom was? Because I know at
It
the
does.
end of
It
season
does.
3, he was like, show her where my mom is or something. And it never happened.
I don't remember all the details behind it, but she basically, spoiler alert, mute your computers now if anybody doesn't want to hear this. She basically went back to her hometown, married her old boyfriend, and had a kid.
That's messed up.
So yeah,
Wow.
Zuko's got another little baby sister.
Which I know this is still on topic, but like, who was that girl that had a crush on Zuko in like the flashback in like episode 6 or 7?
Oh,
And they were
in
that
book
was May.
2.
Okay,
Wait,
the pink
no,
hair
there was
girl,
another girl
the
at
pink
the
dress
tea
girl.
shop.
Yeah, but that was in Ba Sing Se. He was talking about the flashback when they were all kids.
Oh.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm kind of glad nothing went anywhere with that tea shop girl because I'm like, this isn't we don't need this at this point. He's not ready for a relationship.
I kind of felt bad for them at the I kind of felt bad for the both of them at the same time. Oh,
For both Zuko and the girl.
yeah.
And the factor that I'm trying to remember, they were bullying the girl a little bit by like putting an apple on her head and trying to
Oh,
light it on
yeah.
fire.
Yeah. That was
Without
May.
partially bending. Yeah, I'm just like, oh my god, Jesus. It was Azula's idea, right?
Yeah,
Azula,
'cause she
yeah,
she knew May liked Zuko, so she was kinda teasing them both.
yep, that sounds about right. I'm just like, man, y'all are mean to Zuko and May. Jesus,
She's just mean, period. I mean, you saw what she did to get Ty Lee to join her.
I don't think I got that far.
Ty
But
Lee had joined the circus, she was perfectly happy, then Azula's like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch your show," and convinced the guy to set the safety net on fire.
oh, well, speaking of fire, I just remembered something with the Avatar Day episode when they tried with the whole guilt thing.
Yeah.
They burned their own what's it called. They burned their own what's it called. I'm just gonna call it dummy butt, a big dummy
Oh,
model of it. Yeah.
yeah, the effigy.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh my god, y'all are savages. There's what? Why? I mean, like, I get it, it's a murder that happened 300 years ago, but like, that's just awful. Like, when I think about it more, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's like, why? Why does this need to be a thing?
And of course, Aang just takes off his head, like, oh, I'm the Avatar.
He's like, "Oh, heck no,
Just
I'm
throws himself out there instead of going into hiding. I'm like, yeah, you just threw yourself out there. You played yourself. Congratulations.
I'm also like kind of surprised that like other people were like not like thinking about it. Like I'm surprised that they weren't like, oh, you're the last Airbender because of his tattoos. Or I thought that at some point someone would mention that he was lying, that he would have been fake or something. But
right." Well, I mean, it was 100 years ago. There might have been a lot of people who didn't remember that air nomads tattooed themselves like that.
that's true.
Right. And
What? Sorry, go on.
well, I was just gonna say, segue into that. Kaiju, you mentioned this, and I had planned on talking about this myself. The change they made in Sokka for this adaptation is that
Oh my
they
god,
just
everyone was
removed
making a
his.
big deal about that, and like on Facebook, I'm like, it's his character development. It's a character
Right.
development thing.
And to be fair, his sexist attitude was barely even there. I mean,
I agree. I'm not the only one.
How
yes,
many
I mean,
episodes was it in?
when
Yeah.
when he meets the Kyoshi warriors, that's really the only example I can think of. I mean, from that point on, he's kind of. I mean, if he still thinks that, he doesn't say anything. But the fact that they went to the trouble of taking that out of the Netflix adaptation, it's like, did we really need this? Was it that big a problem? And
I didn't think that far ahead about that. I just remember it. People talking about them like yeah. There's only been like one scene. I was like okay, or one episode. Just like what's
yeah,
the big
and it's
deal?
like they were saying they deliberately cut it out as it had no place in the new remake. Like, no place? Really? I mean, he
Welcome to
says one thoughtless
2024.
comment, and that's not serious. Like, why did it have no place? Because we're in the 21st century, because we're evolved. People are still saying things like that, so
Welcome
it's
to
not like it's
2024, I guess.
unreal.
Well, welcome to 2024, I guess, is where I'm gonna Hughes or send somebody Hughes.
I mean, stuff's gonna happen, and it's gonna be hit or miss with a lot of people.
I mean, I feel like I don't know. This is what I'm guessing what will happen. It won't be like notice in the show. Like I don't know. Like just like in the TV series, it won't be as noticed. Like it will just kind of fly right off. That
I'm
type of deal.
Yeah, I'm thinking it'll be hopefully more subtle. Like when they were like, he's like, "Wait,
That's what I'm guessing.
where were the guys that captured us?" And like, "No, guys, it was us." And they'll just leave out that comment about there's no way a girl could have done this, or that whole thing with the girls are better at sewing, guys are better at fishing and stuff. I'm like,
Right.
he probably didn't seriously mean it. It was just something
Mhm.
he'd always thought.
Right. I don't know. Like, I feel like it may just like you said, it might be subtle. But it might go unnoticed. Is what I'm gonna look for.
Yeah, but as far as Sokka's portrayal goes, from what I saw, they're right on point with the sarcasm meter. Like, I really think he's gonna save everything. And he's like, yep, there goes the savior of the world.
Also, like I haven't looked at any trailers or anything regarding the what's called the new remake or Netflix
Wait,
Avatar.
you
I
didn't
haven't
watch
looked
the
at
trailer?
no, not yet. No, trailers spoil everything for me, or some things for me.
Well, it's just it's meant to be a hint at what's to come. I mean, it even had, and I love that they included this, the scene from the opening where Aang's running around with the air ball and he runs into the
I like
statue.
that, especially in the
They
intro.
included that right before Sokka's like, right, savior of the world.
Like they include that in the movie too as well. Well,
I
the intro, like for the show, and then didn't they include that in the movie, or was that in the trailer?
I don't think that was in the movie. That was in the trailer for the Netflix series.
Okay, okay. I was thinking that I was just distinctly remember it being in the live action adaptation for some dumb reason. My brain thought,
So
thought
maybe you did see the trailer, you just forgot.
or I might have seen something else, and I might have thought about that.
Well,
Maybe.
who knows? But from what I've oh god, I can't believe I just remembered this. There was a video of Daniel Day Kim reading thirst tweets for Firelord Ozai. I mean, yeah, he's still a handsome guy. I don't know how old he is now, but he's the bad guy. Bad guys should not be called zaddy. I don't
I
like
like
using
that.
that term anyway.
I like
Not
that. It's funny.
zaddy, not daddy. I'm like, no, no, no. This is not going to be a thing.
What about just dad? Just dad.
Unless you are a literal father, there is no reason to call somebody daddy.
I'm weak.
I'm that's just me showing my age. I don't get it.
I mean, it's funny to me when people do that type of thing, like the whole thirst thing.
I even saw something with the One Piece actors. They're playing this, who this game, and she's like, "Would your character be considered a daddy?"
Oh
I'm
my
like,
god, I do remember you showing me that.
What?
I don't know what that means, so I can't answer that question. But apparently, to her, he was considered a daddy.
Well,
It's unnecessary, is what I say.
I mean, unless you're just joking around, it's an entirely different thing or something.
Yeah, but when he's like, I don't think so, and then when he revealed the character, she's like, oh, he's a daddy.
Wait, wasn't it that clip you showed me with the whole dating thing?
Uh,
Echo?
that was a separate thing, but it was for the
Okay,
same purpose.
that's what I was thinking, but
Yeah, just
I'm gonna have to watch that just for the giggles.
oh god, God help it if the Avatar actors do anything like that. It's oh god, the internet will not be able to handle it.
It will go into overdrive.
Yeah, I mean the last thing we need is more thirst tweets.
Not only that, but I feel like it would be very weird.
It already is. It already is. Good. I mean, at first I thought they were making a good move casting Daniel Day Kim as Firelord Ozai, but now it's like, can we please forget how handsome he is and just focus on the fact that he's the bad guy? Please.
I mean, some people like bad guys, and some people think bad guys are hot. I mean, I think Maduro's hot. I know that's weird to say, even though he's bad shit crazy, but that's for light. Everyone had a thirst for light, and he's a sociopath, so.
And then there's people who like Nagito Komaeda from Danganronpa.
I'm not watching that. I'm aware of the video game. That's all I'm aware of.
Oh dear God.
I'm
That
trying to
that
look.
that's something I don't need in my life. I'm like, I don't need to see characters that are this thirsty, okay?
I mean, honestly, I like Zuko as a character, and that same goes for Aang.
Yeah.
Different opposites, but like, I do think Zuko is good looking in my personal opinion, even though he's just like mixed up.
Yeah,
So,
Okay.
I can
but
see that.
both with and without hair. More with hair though.
No,
Yeah.
what's there? He's ugly with that ponytail thing.
I'm trying to
Well,
think
if it
through.
makes you feel any better, when the show ends, he's still got the hair, but he's pulling it back now.
Like as in like just pulling it completely back, as in a ponytail back.
No, in like the whole top knot thing.
Oh,
But yeah, I mean,
sorry. Go on.
if you haven't seen Legend of Korra, you get to see what he looks like as an old man.
Oh,
I have not seen Korra yet.
me
Oh,
neither.
it's
I the
it's
only thing I know about Cora is who she ends up with, and it makes me happy.
yeah.
Aang.
This is gonna get me hated, but I still dispute that. It was not clear cut for me. It wasn't explicit.
I
This
kind
is
of know the
what that
controversy
means.
behind
To be
that.
fair, I've never seen it.
I mean, I kind of know a little bit about the controversy behind the. I'm just gonna call it controversy behind the whole like.
Well, it kind of is to some people.
Yeah. I just know bits and pieces about it, but I haven't like fully focused on it. But
Yeah, well, it's like once the show ended, the creators are like, "Oh yeah, that's what we intended." I'm like, I'm not taking your word for it after the show's ended. You know, if you're
right,
gonna make it a thing, say so while it's still airing. While there's like 3 more episodes left to go. This is what we're gonna
Yeah,
do with it.
I do wish that they would have done that. It would have had like more things instead of like all of a sudden being like, oh, they're together now. Ends.
Yeah, and somebody told me about it before I saw it, and I'm like, this isn't romantic at all. It's like they look at each other, and then it cuts to black. I'm like, you're like, you said
Well,
they
they
leaned
hold
in. They
hands
didn't
too,
lean
though.
in.
wait,
Well,
what? They just end off on a cliffhanger in Korra?
ah, for lack of better word, yes. I mean, they're like, well, like we haven't had just a vacation, just us girls. Where should we go? She's like, how about the spirit world? I'm like, okay, let's do that.
All right.
They're
Well,
about to walk in, and
I
it's
will say, poor Mako.
yeah, that was the one I was rooting for. I'm like, can you please get back together with him? He was good. That was my boy. You don't hurt my boy.
The
yeah,
little of
I'm
what I've
kind of lost
seen
with the
Cora
whole.
on TV,
I'm
I
lost with
like Mako.
the relationship. I like I said, haven't seen Korra yet, so I'm kind of like out of the loop. I just
Well,
know bits and pieces.
you should. You should for a lot of reasons. One, you get to see Zuko as an old man, still awesome by the way. You get to see Toph as a badass old lady.
Yay!
I think I
Yeah.
do just need to remember a couple clips with Toph as an old lady.
I remember before I actually started watching it, finding out that the chief of police in this show was Toph's daughter. I'm like, the
Oh,
girl who made a name for herself breaking the rules, her child is a cop.
Oh
That's
shit!
hilarious.
makes me wonder who she ended up with.
Well, from what I remember, Toph had 2 kids from what I can tell by 2 different guys.
Oh,
And I remember somebody, and I don't know if I thought this first, but somebody was like, "Please let one of her baby daddies be the Duke. Please." I'm like, I won't even argue that. I think it would be nice. Hey, Kaiju, you still with us?
oh, it's loading. It looks
Uh,
like.
yeah. Well, I thought he just lost video connection, but he might have lost audio as well. So
Oh, that's weird.
for
I'm looking at myself through the computer, and it's like a mirror, kind of, but it's like the other way.
yeah, and yeah, it's the same way for me because like this is on my left, on my right in reality, but it's on my left in the screen.
Yeah, me too.
But um, okay, while we're waiting for that to sort out, You said you took notes on stuff you wanted to talk about, or just notes
Um,
for the
see, the play part, we talked about already, but if you want, we can talk about that more.
oh, the Ember Island play? Yes.
Yeah,
Like, what did you like that episode? Did
I
you?
think it's my favorite episode, to be honest.
Oh, that's
It's
funny.
just so funny.
Okay, he just messaged me, said his
Oh,
computer ran out of juice. Please stand by. Uh,
okay.
all right, Kaiju, we'll carry on in your absence. But
And
I
another thing, Toph is my favorite character, and I want to cosplay her. And I have
I
her
think it's
headband.
amazing.
Yes, I have her headband.
Yes.
There
Hey,
we go.
Kaiju.
Bye.
Yay! Midway through or near the end of the stream, I guess. I don't know how far we're in.
We are about an hour 5 minutes in.
Okay. Yeah, my computer died. I'm so sad about
Okay.
that.
But
Mid
you're
setting.
Okay.
you're plugged in, charging now. Everything's
Yep.
good.
Yep.
Hey, for those of you just tuning in, we lost Kaiju for a few minutes.
Got
But
my charger right. Never mind.
I would say if it's plugged in, keep it plugged in.
Yeah, it's plugged in.
And well, Kaga, since you mentioned the play episode, in just the realm of fun facts that who needed this fact, no one knows. But the Ember Island actor playing Zuko was voiced by an actor named Derek Bosco, brother of Dante Bosco, who
That's
voiced Prince
funny.
Zuko.
Dante had a brother.
It's so funny. And
It's
last year,
perfect.
yeah, and last year, what's his name? Zuko's
Oh,
voice actor.
Dante.
Yeah, he was at Anime Boston last year. And in
Oh,
order to see him, to get an autograph and a selfie, it was $80.
I paid $60 to get an autograph and a photo from Cricket Lee, which was
Oh wow.
well worth it because she was super nice.
Yeah. I would say like 60 is okay, but like anything more than that, it's kind of pushing it.
Well, I
'Cause
mean,
to
I'm
me, I think
still
60 is kind of a lot to begin with.
I mean,
Considering Anime Boston,
right.
you used to be able to wake up in the morning, like really early, and then you could just see them for free.
Yeah, and I'm still kind of miffed that that's a thing now, but at the same time, yeah, it's the norm. We have to pay for autographs now,
Hmm.
but that's the unfortunate reality of the business they're in. They're to the point where
Yeah.
they have to charge for the privilege of seeing them.
I mean,
Hmm.
hey, what's it called a voice actor or artist has to make money somehow, especially with
Yeah,
Yeah.
stuff,
but
getting you transportation, all that stuff. It kind of makes sense.
yeah,
But I also heard that the way Anime Boston did it was that I don't know if this is true or not because I read it on a forum, but apparently the convention would pay them, so technically they would already be paid.
that I had heard that. I'm not sure if it's true, but
I'm not sure either.
it kind of makes up for it when they're super nice when you meet them.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah, it
And
does.
I
I mean,
remember 20 was it 2022, I think, back when we're still wearing masks in the convention centers. I was in line to meet Bo Billingsley from Cowboy Bebop, and the people who were at his table ahead of me, I hear him saying that he might have to charge them woolongs for their autograph. I'm
Charge
like,
what?
woolongs, that's the currency in Cowboy Bebop.
Oh,
But I
I
remember
still gonna
hearing
watch
that. I'm
it.
like, wait, I know what that means. And I'm like, hey, what's the exchange rate? He liked it. He liked it. And apparently he also liked the Netflix show.
not
Because I'm
really.
like, would I be causing trouble asking what you think of it? He's like, I liked it. Would have been nice if Steve Bloom and I could have had like wanted poster cameos, but that would have been I mean I want to see that for this for Avatar get some sort of cameo. I mean, we've already got the Cabbage Merchant voice actor as the Cabbage Merchant. Can
I
we get
thought
like
that
a
was
little
great. It's like
yeah.
so random, but he's so recognized too.
You
I
think
mean,
Steve Blum would voice like as a cameo, like just a regular firebender or something, like a firebender
he
soldier?
he was the bad guy in season 1 of Korra. I don't think he had any involvement in the Last Airbender.
Huh.
Wait, who? The cabbage guy?
No, she don't.
No, no, this that would have been amazing, but no. The closest it ever came was Korra is set like 80 years after The Last Airbender, and there is a company called Cabbage Corp. Like they're industrialized cabbage merchantism.
So they're just
Cabbage for president.
so they're just like the stormtroopers from Star Wars, just entire fleet of cabbage men.
I know it's a business, but it's like industrialized.
I
Okay.
don't know if you guys have seen Konosuba, but there's an episode where there's like flying cabbages with faces that are they're so cute. And now I was thinking of what if the cabbage guy was there.
Oh dear lord. But that's that's hilarious just to think about that. Not only are they keeping the cabbage merchant in this show, but it's the same guy. That's amazing. All we need is foaming mouth guy, and like they've done it. This is amazing.
Wait, so the voice actor's gonna be the actor?
The voice actor is the actor.
Oh my
Like, what?
god,
Yes.
that's awesome.
That was the first thing I ever heard about this adaptation. I'm like, that's the best idea you could have thought of.
So this whole adaptation is going to be live action. Like I said, haven't seen any trailers, haven't seen anything
Yeah.
or behind the scenes stuff. Oh,
Well, I mean, there's probably going to be CG where it's needed. Like, you're
I
not
don't
just
mind
going
that.
to find a flying bison just sitting around somewhere.
I mean, I don't mind CG at this point in time. I used to like practical, but now I'm like,
Well,
I'm
and
fine if it's done right, you know?
yeah, and it's like some things you just know, like, when the One Piece thing was just a, flick on the radar, no human's going to be able to replicate this rubber armness.
Or like have your body like separate.
Yeah, so some things like that, you just knew, okay, they're gonna have to fudge that somehow, but how good is it gonna be? That's the only question.
I mean, they did actually a pretty good job. You know, I kind of fell asleep on and off through like, I'd say like most of the show, but I kind of caught glimpses of a few episodes.
Yeah, really the only thing they have that if we're talking One Piece, the only thing they have to answer now is how good or cheesy is Chopper gonna look?
That's a really good question.
It's a very good question.
I mean, just
Especially
get
in these different
someone.
forms.
Yeah,
We're not there yet, so I mean,
right.
what?
It's already been approved for a second season, so we know
Oh
more
yeah,
is coming.
definitely. So that's good. They got a second season and approved, and thus, well, I was gonna make a dumb joke saying like a movie for Avatar will never get approved. Unless it's
Well,
done
not
right.
not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. But
Because like we did
now
that,
we have
it didn't work.
now we have the remake for the live action TV show. So
Right,
that's
and
fine.
and that's another thing I read, that they took out the ticking is like the ticking time clock of Sozin's Comet. From what I can tell, it's still gonna be a thing. It's just not gonna be you have to stop him by the end of the summer. They took that part out of it.
Also, one of my friends made an interesting point like with adaptations. They work better as TV shows over like even like spin-offs too as well. They work better as TV shows than movies.
Yeah, and that you mentioning the movie just reminded me of something that what they changed at the end with that cliffhanger. He said Sozin's Comet is returning in 3 years. They probably did that on purpose, intending to make more movies, knowing the actors were going to grow and mature and they were going to look different by the end. They're going to look older than just 3 months have passed.
Well, it's been 3 years and they have not returned, and they never will.
Well, yeah, and I think that's why they took I don't know what to call it, the time crunch element out of it. Sozin's Comet is still coming. He still has to defeat the Fire Lord, but he's got more than one summer to master all four elements. And
Right.
yeah. And they did it for that reason. They don't know how different the actors are going to change physically from now until whenever this thing ends.
I'm kind of tempted to just say screw it and just watch the entire movie. I have not started watching it. I'm just like, I might watch it to be disappointed, but I'm used to disappointment at this time with insert any live action movie adaptation.
I would say watch it anyway, just to say you have seen it, so that next time you speak out against it, you're like, okay, I've seen it, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
what I'm
I only
thinking
saw
too.
I've only seen minor things and reviews about it. That I just pointed out the minor things. Like it was like,
And at least if it is like so bad that it's good, I'll just at least get a laugh out of it.
I probably
Yeah,
won't get a laugh out of it. I'll just be really
and
disappointed.
and
Oh,
this is something I kind of I don't know whether to credit the movie for or somebody was thinking on their feet, but the girl in the movie who played Princess Yue, she was cast as a voice actor in Legend of Korra.
Huh.
So I'm like,
oh,
there's that little connecting bridge. So I'm like, it works. It's a nice touch.
I
I
still
heard
feel bad
Nami's
for Sokka.
um Nami's actor from One Piece just started being a voice actor for anime for dubbed anime.
That's awesome.
I
Oh,
thought
that's
that
cool.
was neat.
I mean, she's a fan of anime already,
Yeah,
but that's and there was another thing I had heard. I didn't have a lot of time. I didn't take time to fully read this, I should say, but um Avatar: The Last Airbender co-creator had a stern message for Netflix after leaving the project. I'm like, okay, one of the creators is not involved anymore. And just the headline for this is just says it will not be what Brian and I intended to make. So clearly there's something he doesn't like about where things are going.
and that part kind of makes me scared of what it would be like. Scared for the live action series.
Yeah, he raised concern among fans after the creator of the show compared the series to the popular HBO drama Game of Thrones, along with other reasons. Game of Thrones
Ooh.
had its own
Game of
issue.
Thrones.
Well, I mean, that ending, to people I know who are fans, was highly controversial, but the series
That's
was
what I've
progressing
heard.
faster than the books were coming out. Like, they couldn't hold the actors back waiting for more material to come from.
Oh, I didn't know it was based off of a book.
It's based off a book series. That's what I know.
Oh,
Game of Thrones is just the first book in the series. The whole thing, I think it's called A
oh,
Song of Ice and Fire.
Isn't there a game for
oh.
Game of
Okay.
Thrones?
I've never seen it, but I've heard of it.
Isn't there what, Kaiju?
Isn't there a game for Game of Thrones like on PS4 or something?
There's probably several. Like mobile games, PC games.
I think I might be thinking of The Witcher, to be honest. I'm thinking of The Witcher, which I've never seen. So
I have a friend who's into that game.
Yes. So, well, actually, both Avatar creators have stepped away from the Netflix project, accompanied by a clear message expressing that the upcoming series would be significantly different from the vision they had intended for it.
Hmm.
I feel like, not to demean or diminish their concerns, but I feel like that was already understood. Like, it's not going to be a direct copy of the cartoon.
No,
That's
nothing's more of a
unrealistic,
copy of
but
anything.
Mhm.
you're not gonna. I mean, it's not gonna be exactly what you picture because at some point reality rears its ugly head. Things have to be done a certain way.
Who knows? Maybe the dialogue might be changed as well in the live action.
Well, yeah, and on that point, I do wonder if them removing Sokka's sexism has any part in that. Like, did it's a minor thing, but were they stubborn about keeping it in? That's what I want to know.
Also, while we're on the topic about Sokka, I just remembered something, and I feel so bad for Sokka on this. Sokka's love for oh my god, I forgot. It was the lady we were talking about earlier from
Princess Yue.
yeah, her, yeah. I felt so bad for Sokka for that. I'm like, God, man, this kid gets the short end of the stick. I feel so bad
Yeah,
for him.
but well, I mean, he kind of already started something with Suki, but then met Yue. Now he's back to continuing things with Suki.
Right.
I
Oh,
mean, yeah, it sucks that he had such a major heartbreak from his first girlfriend, but
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's part of what took the sexism
I'll say
out of
yes to
play.
that. Like, see, Sokka isn't a sexist
Right.
jerk.
Yeah, he's not. He just has one thoughtless comment.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm like, who of us hasn't said something completely off the cuff that we're like, yeah, that's gonna come back and bite us.
Not me.
I find that hard to believe.
Maybe. I can't think of
Maybe.
something that I've said that's came back to bite me in the butt.
Well, yeah, but just because you can't remember it doesn't mean you haven't said anything.
I've done stuff that's like, like
Like
off the balls a
that.
little bit. Like a teeny bit. But it's like not up there. But what did Sokka even say like that was sexist in the TV series? I don't remember
Well,
for the life of me.
I mean, I remember Katara was trying to fix his pants, and he's like, you know, girls are better at sewing, guys are better at hunting or fishing or whatever. And then when they get to Kyoshi, he's like, wait, you captured us? There's no way girls captured us. It had to be a bunch of guys. And then, yeah, and then he's like, I could show you ladies a few moves. It might be a little advanced for you.
I mean,
Like,
that's fairly fair sexist, but it's like low level sexist,
well, it's
in my opinion.
sexist, but more than anything, it's cocky.
That's
Like,
the word I was looking for.
yeah,
Cocky.
I mean, you are the last warrior left behind in your village does not mean you're an expert. And girls, guys, you don't need to be talking down to these people.
Also, regarding the whole bending concept, I completely forgot to get on that. Like, I like the ideas of what they do. Like, warriors shooting out of their hands or like coming out of like a lamp or something, and they can take control over that. With Katara, I noticed the water bottle on her sash or belt, and she just kind of like takes it out like a sword. I kind of like that
Yeah,
idea.
like,
Yeah, and just like opens up the cap. Just, I mean,
yeah,
that's
but
cool.
that makes a little more sense for her because there might not always be water
Yeah,
around.
yeah,
For
exactly.
Aang, there's always going to be air. Toph, there's earth somewhere under the
Yep.
floor,
I'm
maybe.
stepping on ground right now. That's earth. Well, it's wood, but wait, isn't there
Well,
wood bending in the show? I might
that
be thinking.
I don't know.
Okay, I might be thinking of Naruto. That's probably wrong.
Yes, yes, that's
Um,
that's a
That would be
completely different
cool.
thing.
yeah, jutsus and chakra are two different things compared to bending. Wait, is it bending related to chakra or something? Maybe I.
Aang does mention chakra when he
Okay,
sees the guru guy.
Yeah, but that's like chakras
Different.
in your body, like
Yeah.
touch points.
yeah,
I don't know if it's the same as what the Naruto verse is thinking of chakra, but it's like internal spiritual energy.
yeah. That's kind of where it leads to in Avatar, the whole spiritual journey type of thing and concept in Avatar. So
Yeah. And like I said earlier, I still have a sticking point with that guy. Why is Avatar Roku allowed to have a family, but Aang isn't?
oh my god, that's awful. That's
Although, to be fair, I think Roku had already mastered the four elements by the time he married his wife. So maybe that's
That
the
would
only
make
catch.
sense.
It does make sense, but it's still like you're making it sound like he can never have personal
Yeah.
attachments. Rephrase yourself, dude, because otherwise you're just going to be very.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. But just, is there. Like, we talked about what is going to be there, what won't be there anymore. Did you guys have any hopes or expectations for the Netflix series?
Not
I
really.
just hope it doesn't
I was
disappoint
kind
me.
of keeping my expectations kind of low.
Okay.
I'll give it a mid.
Yeah. Or kind of like go with the flow kind of thing too.
Go. That's gonna fit in real well. Go with the flow. The whole. Uh, my opinions are the same as when I when I thought there was gonna be another movie. Like, as long as Toph is blind and sarcastic, I don't care what else they do to her.
Yeah.
That's they've got free reign as far as I'm concerned.
And also about that, I want to add that I hope that they stick to being respectful about her disability.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna get on. I was trying to say, like, and she uses her blindness as her advantage. Like, she learned to hone that skill. Like, but Tough was like what 12
Yeah.
in
something
the
like
second
that.
season.
Yeah,
Yeah, and she can easily sense like whenever a person like stomps or like moves or whatever. She can
yeah.
sense that just like almost like in Naruto with Neji, like sensing chakra points and whatnot.
And that I think is why there's so many moments where they forget she's blind because she has a way of seeing where everybody is. Like she can turn in this direction and know, okay, I'm looking at Sokka.
And she
She know,
doesn't even use a blind stick at all. She's just like,
yeah.
oh,
She
sense,
doesn't
sense,
act like
good.
she's blind, but when like when Sokka was making the Appa poster, she's like, it looks just like him to me. Like, thank you. Why do you do that?
Yeah, because I do think it's important for, at least for her character, to not have everyone think that, oh, that she is just being blind and that's it.
Yeah, and
Right.
the fact that she's like kind of this tough individual is kind of cool,
Mhm.
even when blind or while she's blind.
Yes. And I like when they go underground to stop the drill. He's like, "It's so dark, I can't see a thing." Oh no, what a nightmare.
I like
Sorry.
the joke she makes too,
Which
especially as someone who is legally blind. It's really funny
what joke were you thinking of?
that
Oh, the oh no, what a nightmare.
yeah,
That's my favorite part. But yeah, there's a whole montage of, like 7 minutes of people forgetting Toph's blind.
I
It
mean,
just
have you not noticed her eyes are what's it called? Trying to figure out where for her eyes like that she can't see that they're like just
right.
white like Neji.
Yeah, well, yeah, but even she forgets it sometimes. Like when they were hanging up the posters, like, what? You think just because I'm blind, I can't? It's upside down, isn't it?
Uh, I'm not gotten
I
that far.
like that part.
I'm on episode 8. Well, I'm on episode 9 right now, but yeah.
Yes, she's full of good moments. Both,
Yeah,
yeah. Even when you think about when you think about her being blind, even when you don't, she never stops bringing it. Like she brings the punch, she packs a punch, she brings the humor. She knows the assignment and she brought it.
Exactly. Like, and also I like how they have that like detail, like when like the whole vibration thing when it, like with Boulder when she was fighting him.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
the
whole detail with like, her sensing it at every like around her, and she just like dodges like near.
yes, and no
I
one
know
can
that. I
figure
thought
out
that was
why.
pretty cool. Yeah,
and
I
then
thought that was
also
really
the part where Toph is teaching him and she makes him blindfolded.
Yeah, she's like, I
cool.
can't. She's
Yeah,
like,
that's
I have to sense it. You have to sense it too.
Hmm. Kind of puts him in her shoes.
Yeah, and I think that's why she was. That's why the tree was trying to say, "This is your earthbending teacher." You don't need someone who just moves the earth. You need someone who also listens to it and feels it and
Exactly.
knows when to move it. It's like,
right.
wow, yeah, and
I
that's
did
how
not think that thoroughly about that actually, like the whole concept with the tree.
yeah, and I hadn't really thought about it that thoroughly, but they did say that in that episode. Like you need someone who waits and listens, not just someone who barrels forward without
Hmm.
thinking. I think that's when he realized Zuko was the right firebending teacher for him. He's like, you understand how dangerous it can be. You're the person I need to work with.
And as the saying goes, it's dangerous to play with fire. You get burnt.
And that's exactly why Aang was so closed off to learning it, because he had gotten carried away and accidentally burned Katara.
Right.
Not only that, but it also seemed like when he did it, he wasn't really taking it all that seriously.
Yeah, and blessing in disguise, that's how she found out she had healing abilities.
Mm-hmm.
I
So,
completely forgot Katara as a healer.
well, I mean, you saw have you not you haven't finished season 2, right?
No, I haven't finished season 2.
But she had she has that vial of spirit water from the North
Oh,
Pole.
I did bring that up, and I completely forgot that spirit water. Whoops. Oh well.
Yeah,
When
that's gonna play a big part in the end of season
yeah,
2.
when Katara finally used it, though, the first thing in my mind that I thought of was like shipping wars.
Well, yes, because she was gonna use it on
But how
Zuko
bad they
first.
would be.
Now I wanna know, if she had done that, would it have worked?
Mm-hmm. That's what I want to know too.
I mean, it's kind of a moot point, but would it have done anything, or would she have
Yeah,
just
like in
wasted the
general,
water?
like I just want to know like what would happen too.
Right. But I mean, she used it on Aang, but he still had a scar.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe it wouldn't have worked. I don't know. I don't know what the limits are with that stuff.
That was quite a bit.
What quite a bit on.
Well, we didn't cover every topic, but we covered a lot in right
Well,
here. So.
well, what was something that you wanted to talk about that hasn't been covered?
I don't. Given that I watched the first couple of episodes of season 2, there really wasn't much I wanted to talk about. I just talked about the main points, which are covered in like the first couple of minutes, or probably 20, 30 minutes, give or take. But there's really not much I wanted to cover. I covered pretty much everything that I wrote down. But yeah,
This in general, or just for season 2?
just for season 2. Because I have vague memories of season 1. I just remember bits and pieces. Not a
Yeah.
lot. Because
Well, now,
my brain works in a weird way. Like I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna start where I left off and continue from there. I'm not gonna
right.
rewatch whatever episode unless if I have to, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
and now that you mentioned season 1 again, I gotta rewatch the trailer because I don't remember if this was featured in it, but the moment where Aang finds the Southern Air Temple and finds out what actually happened,
I do remember
how
actually.
I mean, that's easily one of the darkest moments in the cartoon. How are they gonna translate that into the series? Like, how are they gonna soft play it a little? Is it just gonna be full, unfiltered, I don't know, horror, for lack of a better word?
I mean, I'm down for Nightmare Full. Nightmare Full. I mean, I
Night
watch it all the
Jeez,
time. I watch
good.
horror and other Nightmare Fuel stuff all the time. I'm immune.
Well, it's not like the ghosts are gonna rise from the snow or anything. Let's not call it nightmare fuel yet.
I'm actually kind of curious how they're going to do it visually. Same goes for everything else. That's kind of what I'm curious about. Just everything, even flashbacks too as well.
Yeah, I'm like, really, as far as that scene goes, all they really need is like they just show Gyatso's body, Aang going into the Avatar state, and those are the highlights of that episode.
Right.
But it does make me wonder how hard or soft they're gonna go with that.
Hmm.
They could easily say that about a lot of moments in that show, like even stuff that they haven't done yet.
Right. I mean, I'm actually kind of curious how they're going to do the fight too as well, like the final fight between Azula and Zuko.
Yes.
I'm
It
actually
was
curious
so
how they're going to
good.
do that. If they're going to
Yeah.
actually do martial arts and whatnot and bending in between.
Yeah. That whole I mean, that's where the CG is gonna come into play because there was a lot of lightning involved.
I mean, if they do a complete chaos, that'd be really cool. If they do it cliffhanger, maybe
And
a little.
also, of like what happens with the lightning in that scene too. Yeah,
Yes.
I don't
Oh,
want to. I
man.
don't want to say because he hasn't seen it. So
No, I just
Uh,
remember bits and pieces from the final fight and seeing a review of the final fight.
but the way, and I'm going to phrase this as carefully as possible to avoid spoiler alert or whatever, but the way Azula is finally stopped,
mhm.
I would love to see how that plays out
Me
in a
too.
live action. CG, obviously, but I'm like, how good is it going to look? That's really the
Mhm.
only question.
Who are they going to play Azula?
How
Or
they,
who are they going? Yeah, who are they going to get to play Azula or
um,
whatever?
I don't know her name. There's like actually no actors I know from this show. Because like they're all younger than me, which says a lot.
They're all younger than me.
That this is truth for all of us.
Mhm.
But okay, got what is her name? Uh, okay, her name's Elizabeth Yu. Is the actress
The
playing?
name does not stop ringing any bells.
Well, of course.
I'm actually curious. I'm going to see what, like, go through a couple of Google images to see what it looks like. Just to give myself a general idea of what I'm looking at.
Yeah, because the only name I recognized from any of the information around this series was Daniel Day Kim. I'm like, all right, that's awesome.
Who
Right.
was that again?
Ooh, I
Uh,
like the poster.
Daniel Day Kim was Fire Lord Ozai.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
I'm digging the poster. Not even gonna lie, I like the poster art. Like
But
that's the first thing I saw was the poster art for Netflix. It's
exactly.
yeah, it's not super in your face, but it's subtle.
Right. Well, it's kind of you kind of have to find the middle ground for a soft core action series like this.
This guy, I'm just scrolling through images and what? Oh, they got okay. I dig the actors. Their in their designs, they got everything right for design wise. This
Yeah.
is Zuko and Uncle Iroh.
Yes. And I just thought of, and I had forgotten this until I looked just now. Daniel Day Kim had voiced characters in both Airbender and Legend of Korra.
Hmm.
Oh,
I mean, like they were. Well, his last Airbender character was kind of a minor role, but it's still like, hey, he's had a foothold in the cartoon, and now he's in this. That's that's keeping things real a little bit.
I actually like what they did with the character poster art too, like air, earth and fire and water. Well, mainly with Katara, Aang, and Zuko. That's what
Yeah,
I was focused on, like with the character poster art. That's cool what they did,
right.
like with the color scheme and everything, and how
I
it's
still gotta
designed.
see that.
Yes, and I would love to. I don't know if this was part of the trailer, but I would love to see if they do the intro just like in the cartoon.
That would be
The
cool.
water,
I'm
fire,
actually curious
earth, air.
how they'll do that.
That would be amazing. If only just once. Just once in the episode
Mhm.
1. If they do that, then that would be amazing.
But yeah, everything looks pretty cool for the Netflix adaptation. Like it kind of reaches my hopes a little bit. Like I said, I'm keeping it mid, but like
You're
the character
excited for
design
it,
is
but yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, for anyone who's seen the movie, comparing the characters to what they look like in the movie, there's obviously some things that are different. Aang's just the clothes alone are considerably more colorful than the movie's
I
actors.
noticed. I
His
noticed.
tattoos, yeah, they blowing. I'm like, okay, we're stepping it up a little bit. But yeah, and I think in general, I anybody who's watching, correct me if I'm wrong, but expectations for this is like it can't be any worse than the movie.
I mean, no, I
Yeah,
would say
Kaiju, I know
definitely.
you haven't seen it yet, but
No, like I said, I don't have a full on opinion about the movie. I just know bits and pieces
Same.
about it.
yeah, well,
So
you said you're keeping your expectations low. I would say if you want to maintain that, watch the movie, see how they did it, and then you'll probably be like, well, you can't do worse than this.
Yeah, I mean, trying to think of a TV show that's actually fairly good or adaptation that's good, but I can't like it TV wise, but like or
Well,
Netflix
yeah,
wise.
yeah. I mean, as far as if we're sticking in the realm of Netflix adaptations, people are still riding the One Piece high. They're kind of hoping that this
I
holds up
noticed,
just as well.
but yeah, like also like I said, everything works better if it's in a TV show, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Um,
because you have more time to stretch out character development and plot lines.
kind of like with Mandalorian and Ahsoka, mainly the Star Wars stuff. Um,
Well, that stuff kind of comes with its own. Well, Ahsoka, I think, kind of comes with its own ticking clock because you know what happens to her. Anyone who's seen the prequel movies knows that.
Ahsoka didn't. No, she didn't come in until Clone Wars, not the prequel. Not
Right,
I still
which
love the
was,
prequel.
to my knowledge, set before
Yeah, it is.
the Revenge of the Sith.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
it's like, yeah, anyone going into the prequel movies knew how it was going to end, but you put up with 3 movies anyway, just to see how did it turn out this way.
I feel so bad for Anakin in that suit. It's it looks painful because I've done. I'm sorry if I'm getting off topic again, but like
Well, if you mean
I've
the
done
Darth
like
Vader costume,
yeah, the Darth Vader cybernetic body type of deal.
right, but consider that he probably can't survive without it.
Yeah, and surprisingly, Palpatine built that on purpose just to keep Anakin alive and just to grow stronger with his hatred and anger.
Yeah, that
So
worked out real well for about 20 years.
yeah, and surprisingly, he does not like the Bacta tank. Well, he likes it and he hates it. Because there's two Bacta tanks he has, and the
Yeah, I saw
um,
that in Rogue One.
yeah, yeah, Mustafar and Coruscant. He has a
I
Bacta tank
o-
in two areas or two planets. Mustafar
Yeah,
and Coruscant.
I
Yeah.
only saw one Star Wars movie, and that was it.
which one was that?
The seventh one.
All
You
right,
mean that
I'm out.
Empire Strikes Back?
Nope. What was it?
Oh wait, yeah.
The
No,
Disney
no.
It
trilogy.
was in
Oh,
theaters.
oh, the Force Awakens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I said.
Gotcha.
I'm out. Just leave the screen. I don't like the
I
Disney trilogy.
yeah.
I don't like the Disney trilogy too much. They should have made Rey Sith. They should have made Finn a Jedi.
Why?
I was confused throughout the whole thing.
I'm not even gonna go there. I just remember crying like a baby when I saw the last movie in that trilogy.
I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
Episode 3 made me cry. The whole battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin. That made me cry a little
So
bit. Sure.
Well,
to get
yeah.
into Star Wars, do you start with the movies? I'm guessing. I
Ah,
heard
Um,
Clone Wars is good, but I also
yeah,
heard it's animated, so I might like it more.
oh yeah, you'll like the animated TV series. It's like
Do I have to? Do I have? Can I like watch that on its own, or do I have to watch other things first?
um, well, there's certain stuff that kind of correlates to like before Revenge of the Sith. Certain
well,
characters have their backstories in that show, and it kind of like gives you the in depth for Mandalorian and Ahsoka. So
like I'm
I
just gonna
watched
ask
it
you
out
this
of
really
order.
quick. I'm just gonna ask you this really quick, and then we move on. The
Where
kaiju. Do you do you believe it's better to watch the prequel movies and then the originals, or the other way around?
okay, so that's a really tough question, even for me, because I watched the what's it called the sequels before the prequels, like as a kid,
So you
and
watch
then
the original movies and then the
yeah,
pre. I mean,
yeah,
I think that's how everybody saw them.
yeah, like, and then I watched episode 3 when it came out in theaters, so I was excited for it. I was more excited for 3 than 1 and 2, to be honest.
Right.
Um, yeah, so like I said, like 2 and 3 are good. 1 is just very still, like just it was kind of lame. The only good thing was the fight with Darth Maul, and that's it.
Right.
So,
I got my mom to watch that one just by telling her Liam Neeson was in it.
and also Ray Park, the guy who played Darth Maul, he
Oh,
knows how
okay.
to do his own stunts, which I like. It was also in Mortal Kombat 2, the really bad one. He just did all he did was just stunt double stuff for Raiden.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, if I had put in more effort to prepping this, I would have had more than just the one. But I did mention trivia games, playing fast and loose with the term trivia. But really, the only game I had was an Avatar quotes challenge. Yep.
I'm gonna fail that miserably because I only know bits and pieces from season 1, and mainly season 1, and a little bit from season 2.
I
Well,
wouldn't know quotes off the top of my head.
yeah. Well, I got this from a video where I can't remember what name she's going by now, but the voice actress for Toph played this game, and I think she actually did pretty well. But the rules for that game, the way she played it, was name the character who said the quote and the title of the episode it came from. I'm just gonna say all that is required for this is name the character. If you can name the episode title, that's a bonus point as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
So it's I'm gonna try and keep score as best I can for this. There's not a lot of quotes. This is gonna be really short-ish, but right. Are you guys ready to test your Avatar knowledge?
Yeah.
I'm gonna fail miserably.
And this is because how I am, I'm may end up saying these quotes with the intended delivery, but if I don't be surprised. Okay. First quote. Again, just name the character. If you name the episode title, that's a bonus. I think I got Midnight Sun Madness. I'm going home to where stuff makes sense.
Sokka?
Kaga, you have a vote?
Zuko?
It was Sokka.
Yeah, I got it right. Cool. I mean,
Anyway,
that does sound like something he would say. Like,
I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
care to wager what episode this was?
episode 5, season 1.
You were correct about season 1, but this is from the very first episode, The Boy in the Iceberg.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, that was really the only episode title that I got right. I'm like, I know that one. He doesn't believe all this stuff is real yet. Right? Next quote. Don't flatter yourself. You were never even a player.
Sokka?
Kaga?
Katara?
Incorrect on both. That was Azula.
Okay.
Oh.
In the episode called The Crossroads of Destiny.
Huh.
Yeah,
What season was that?
That was season 2 when she overthrew Long Fang, and he's like, "You've beaten me at my own game," and she's like, don't flatter yourself, bud. You were never a player in this."
Oh.
I was like, I couldn't have gotten the title of the episode, but I'm like, I remember that scene. I also remember being like blindsided when I found out Long Fang was voiced by Mr. Krabs.
What?
Yes, it's the same voice actor.
Okay.
I'm like,
oh
okay,
yeah, Mr.
mind rape
Krabs.
blown a little bit. Next time you watch those episodes with him, listen to the voice and you're like, holy, that is him. Okay, next quote. Oh, that was food? I used it to start the campfire last night.
Tough.
Okay, you say Toph. Kaiju, how about you?
What was it called again? Sorry, I zoned out.
It was, oh, that was food? I used it to start the campfire last night.
I would say Sokka.
Both incorrect. It was Aang.
Oh.
That was from the episode where they find the Southern Air Temple.
Okay.
It's not too bad so far. Next up, maybe we can find a puddle for you to splash in.
Definitely Katara.
Kaga?
I don't know.
to get.
Tara?
It was Sokka
Oh.
from
God.
the episode The Waterbending Scroll.
Oh.
Oh.
Yes.
I just saw that one recently. I'm like, that sounds familiar, but I don't remember who said it.
I know that feeling so well. Next up, we are the sons and daughters of fire, the superior element.
Zuko. I guess. I said it so confidently.
Azula?
Admiral Zhao from the
Oh.
episode The Blue Spirit.
Hmm.
I'm like, only he would be that arrogant to say something like that. This I don't know if it's an iconic quote, but I feel like you guys might know this. She's crazy and she needs to go down.
Definitely Sokka.
Kaga?
Toph?
Iroh.
Oh.
But
Okay, that's interesting. That's kind of funny that Ira would say something like that.
that's when he starts training Zuko in the lightning thing. Zuko's like, I know, she's my sister, I should be trying to get along with her. And he's like, nope, she's crazy. She needs to go down. Like, yeah, he's wise and compassionate, but he's like, yeah, I know crazy when I see it. Right. Okay, next one. There are no take-backsies in my kingdom.
Suki?
Kaga?
I would say Suki too.
I don't know how you guys thought that, but that was Boomy. King Boomy from the King of
Oh.
Omashu. Like, there are no take-backsies in my kingdom. I wasn't about to inflict you guys with that, so that's an after effect. Okay. I feel like this one is easy, but that's just... Why don't you ask Sokka's instincts? They seem to know everything.
Katara.
Aang?
What was that, Kaga?
Aang?
You had it right, Kaju. It was Katara.
Oh.
Yeah, because I think he was just going on about his instincts. She's like, oh, why don't we ask Sokka's instincts? And Aang's like, great idea. Hey, Sokka's instincts. I'm like, yeah, that was the episode they met Jet, actually. Okay. Oh, great and powerful sea serpent, please accept this humble and tasty offering.
Aang.
Aang.
Both of you say Aang?
Yep.
It was Sokka from the Serpent's Pass. He was offering up Momo to the
Oh.
serpent. Please accept this humble offering. Like, don't they eat Momo?
Poor Momo.
Okay, next quote. I am a warrior, but I'm a girl too.
Katara.
Suki.
It was Suki.
Yay! I
Yeah.
got one right.
Yes.
That one was easy.
You're officially on the board. Okay, next up. His sources include singing nomads, pirates, prisoners of war, and a surprisingly knowledgeable merchant of cabbage.
Cabbage guy.
Cabbage guy.
You think the cabbage guy said that?
No, the spitting out of the mouth, the foam out of the mouth, dude.
Well, that was your most creative answer yet, but that is not who said that quote. Care to take another shot at that?
Boomy.
Nope. Kaiju?
What was the question?
The quote again was, his sources include singing nomads, pirates, prisoners of war, and a surprisingly knowledgeable merchant of cabbage.
Iroh, I guess? I don't know.
It was Sokka from the Ember Island players. He was reading the poster, like, this is where the playwright got his information from.
Right.
Okay, next up. I know you can do it, Aang, for you have done it before.
Katara.
Kaga,
Avatar Roku?
it was Avatar Roku.
Yeah!
That was from the Winter Solstice Part 2. That was when he tells Aang, you need to defeat the Fire Lord before the end of summer. Alright. Okay, next quote. You should leave the way you came, unless you want to become a stuffed head of anthropology.
Azula?
Nope, not
Zuko?
Azula. But
Zuko? Zuko?
it's actually neither of them.
Oh, huh.
Oh,
It was Wan Shi Tong from the episode The Library.
Right.
It was the giant owl.
Huh.
oh,
Yeah. That one I don't think I got right away, but wait, I know the episode that's from. Who said that?
I want
Oh,
the plushie of an. I want a plushie of the owl,
oh my god,
the
yes.
big one to just hug.
Yes. This next quote. This place is worse than Omashu.
Sokka.
Kaiju?
Uh, Sokka?
Well, I don't blame you guys for not getting that one. That's kind of a throwaway line. That was the cabbage merchant.
Oh,
They destroyed his cabbages at the ferry crossing, and he was like, "This is worse than Omashu," because that's when Aang crashed into his.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I hope this is as easy as it sounds for you guys. Maybe you should
I'm
worry less.
having fun.
Yeah, maybe you should worry less about the tides, who have already made up their mind about killing you, and worry more about me, who's still mulling it over.
Zolo?
Kaga?
I forgot his name already. Grandpa.
Wait, Grandpa?
Iroh?
The
Oh, yeah.
no, the other guy.
Oh.
He has a white beard.
Paku?
Water tribe.
That Paku, but
Yeah, Paku.
Kaiju, you had it right. It was Azula.
Yeah, 2
Oh.
points for me.
That was from the episode The Avatar State. I think that's from the episode where she tries to take Iroh and Zuko back home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was kind of a throwaway, so I won't blame you if you don't get it. Where's your creepy grandpa?
Sokka?
Kaga, you have an answer?
Aang.
It was June, the bounty hunter.
Who?
But they go to find her because they need her help finding Aang, and she's like, "Oh, you? Where's your creepy grandpa?"
Oh.
Yeah. This. I always knew I was special. Oh,
Toph?
I remember. You think it was Toph?
Yeah.
Hey, Kaga, what do you think?
Zuko.
It was Aang.
Oh, huh.
Again from the episode The Library.
Guys, be right back really quick.
Yep.
Okay.
I just remembered that. I think Katara was like, "Hey, did you know you were left-handed in a previous life?" You're like, "I always knew I was special." It's left-handed. This is not
Because
that
I
big a deal.
watched, because I barely remembered anything from season 1, so I continued off to where I was. I watched season 3, and then I went back and rewatched season 1 because I had time, and now I just think of Paku as Grandpa.
Well, yeah, Sokka did want to call him that. He's like, "How about Grandpaku?"
Yeah.
Please don't. Please don't. Oh my gosh. I wish there were more. I wish there were more of these games because I like guessing stuff.
Me too.
I'm gonna say by the time he gets back, I'm gonna see if I can try and find a trivia game. Maybe we can throw in there after this.
Hmm.
Okay.
I wish there was a game where it was like Jackbox, where you could put in your own questions and answers. That would be cool.
I think there is. I think there are things out there that you can make your own quiz or crossword puzzle or something.
Ooh.
But okay, I found a BuzzFeed quiz that we can do later.
Ooh. I wanted to take the airbending quiz on what kind of airbender you, what kind of bender you would be.
Okay.
I remember I took one many years ago and I got fired.
So these are, well, like any BuzzFeed quiz, these are all multiple choice questions, which
Oh.
should not be a problem. I mean, I kind of just like, I'm like, don't give me a hint. Let me try and figure this out my own. But I mean, it's up to you guys. Would you prefer a multiple choice answer or just a straightforward what's the answer?
It doesn't matter to me.
And there he is. Bring it
Yay.
back into the fold. Hey, Kaiju.
Okay.
Hi.
Hello. All right.
Sorry for picking this up where we left off.
All
Next
right.
quote. A couple of more years and you might be ready to fight a sea sponge.
Definitely Sokka. That sounds like something Sokka would say.
Sandy, just kidding.
So who do you think said that quote?
What was it again?
A couple of more years and you might be ready to fight a sea sponge.
Oh, Paku.
It was Paku
Yay.
from the
That's true.
siege at the North Pole. 8. Next one. It's terrible when you can't trust the people who are closest to you.
Zuko?
They said very tongue-in-cheek about it. Kaiju.
Zuko.
It's Azula.
Oh.
When she's pretending to be the Kyoshi warriors.
Oh.
There's like, oh, it's so terrible when you can't trust people. Yeah, we know what you're doing. 8. Okay. Why are we sitting in the nosebleed section?
Sokka?
Definitely Sokka. I'm trying to remember. I distinctly remember what episode it was.
What episode do you think it
Hold
was?
up. I talked about it. Like 7? Episode 7, the one where we're with Toph, where they introduced Toph. I think that might be 6, though.
I know the one you're thinking of, and no, it is not that episode.
Damn.
It's not. It's a quote from Toph when they go to see the Ember Island players.
Oh.
She's like, "Why are we sitting up here? My feet can't see anything."
Huh.
Kaiju, the episode you're thinking of was like, all these seats are open. Why is nobody sitting here? Rockland's like,
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
Yes. Okay, last quote for this one. Goodbye, everyone. Today, destiny is our friend.
Aang.
Kaga?
Dang.
It's Iroh.
Oh.
Why didn't I think of that? I feel bad.
It's from the Sozin's Comment series finale.
Okay, yeah, I haven't gotten that far.
Okay, so for that game, it's evenly split. You guys are tied.
Whoa.
2 points with just 2 points.
3 points each.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You both did not get the same answer right, but you each got answers right. And as far as Avatar trivia, I found a BuzzFeed quiz that, like most BuzzFeed quiz, Kaiju are multiple choice answers. Is that preferable to you versus just, here's the question, tell me the answer?
I like here's the question, tell me the answer better.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Answers.
All right. Let me see if I can find one of those. I mean, I could just read you the questions. I don't have to read you the choices unless you ask for it.
All right.
Okay, this is... How many questions is this? I'm not counting all those, but I'm just gonna read them off because I'm pretty sure I know all these answers already. Yes. Okay, yeah. Well, the way some of these questions are phrased, you kind of need all the answers because it's like, who is part of this, who isn't part of this.
Okay, we'll go for that.
Yeah, so for those questions, I'll read you all the answers. Okay. I wish I could find more of the Avatar voice actors playing that quotes game, especially... I need to go back and watch the original, because did she correctly guess any of her quotes? How you doing so far, Kaiju?
Slightly tired.
Yeah. Well, we'll get through this last one and try and wrap it up.
All right.
So far, I think things are going well. Da, 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 da.
Still trying to find the questions.
Oh no, I found them. I thought we were just waiting for Kaga to get back.
Oh.
I was like, the way they pitched this quiz is, do you know all 4 elements inside and out? Could you be a member of Team Avatar? Do you think you've mastered Avatar The Last Airbender? Take our quiz to find out. Like, well, challenge accepted, internet. Whee! Jeez. The sad thing is, I found out that I'm working the night this Netflix series airs.
Am I even off when it airs or when it airs on TV or whatever on Netflix?
Yeah, well, and this is a thing I want to know, and I don't remember if One Piece was like this. Are they going to release the episodes all at once or one at a time?
I mean, they kind of did that with Ted. They released all the episodes at once.
Mm.
Same, I think, with One Piece too as well.
Yeah,
Like
I
Netflix
think.
usually does that. They did that with Breaking Bad as well.
I think they did that with Cowboy Bebop also, but and I remember when that happened, I heard the announcement, "Oh, it's been canceled after 1 season." I thought, "Oh my god, I'm not going to be able to watch it." So I hurried and watched all that was there, but I'm like, I've rewatched it 3 or 4 times since then. I kind of wish they would continue it because there's a lot they left unexplored.
Right.
Plus, they introduced Ed in the last scene. It's like, the heck is that for? I mean, to be fair, not that they knew, but it's like, yeah. As far as well, I mean, I don't say I'm not going to say Netflix always drops the entire season because when they had My Happy Marriage, that was coming out 1 episode at a time.
Right.
But it's an anime. That makes a little more sense.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, just would be really weird for them to, like, have it, like, a couple episodes. How many episodes is it supposed to be?
That is a good question. That's the one thing I don't think I knew anyway prior to this. Let's see. Okay, due to drop February 22nd and will consist of 8 episodes. So that sounds like.
I imagine it being, like, probably, like, 40, 50 minutes long. Breaking Bad status, maybe.
Yeah, they're all saying original air date February 22nd. They don't say how long the episode is, but if it's in the vein of most Netflix shows, I mean, even One Piece was like 40 minutes per episode.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. But yeah, it sounds like they're gonna do that and condense maybe 2 or 3 episodes into one because the first episode is called The Last Airbender, episode 2 is called Warriors. So they're just gonna compress all meeting Aang, finding out what happened to the Airbenders into that episode. Episode 2, we meet the Kyoshi Warriors, and so on and so forth.
Right.
Yeah. Then, well, all the episodes are titled here except episode 6, which I don't know why. But episode 7 is called The North, and the last episode of the season is called Legends. I can't even guess to what that might mean.
Probably. You said the last episode's called Legends?
Yeah.
Okay.
That.
I don't know. I can't think of anything that would relate to, like, that word.
And for you, I definitely advise watching the trailer because
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that today.
Yeah.
I mean, the trailer's like what, 1-2 minutes
You
long?
will, yeah, you something like that. And you will want to pay attention because you get a tiny glimpse of King Boomy in that trailer.
Right.
I'm back.
Hey, Kaga's back. Okay, I found another quiz that it's also multiple choice, but for some of the questions, I can just, let you answer on your own. But some of them,
Okay.
okay. First question. Iroh is a member of which secret society?
Fire. I don't know.
That's, Kaga, what do you think?
I don't know.
The secret society he's a part of. Like, will reading the choices help you guys?
Yeah.
Go for
Okay.
it.
It's either the Order of the Red Lotus, the Lost Tea Makers, Order of the White Lotus, or the Jasmine Dragon Tea Masters.
I'll say
One
the
of the lotuses.
One of the lotuses.
White Lotus, I believe.
You say
I
White
think-
Lotus?
Yeah.
It's the Order of the White Lotus.
Yay!
Yes. Which air temple is Momo discovered at?
The Southern Air Temple.
Kaiju?
North.
It's the
Southern.
Southern Air Temple.
Okay, I was making a dumb guess off the top of my head.
Because that's when he finds out what happened to the rest of his friends. Hey, what creature taught Toph how to earthbend?
They were in like a cave.
A tree.
A tree taught her to earthbend?
I don't know. I mean, it's part of Earth.
Hey,
I mean, it's a living
Some
thing.
kind of mammal.
well, that helps. Okay, the choices are badger mole, platypus bear, hippo cow, or turtle seal.
Turtle.
Yeah, they're
One was
freaky weird
either
hybrids.
A or B.
So it's either badger mole or platypus bear, you're saying?
Yeah, I think it's A.
Right. Kaiju?
B. The turtle.
It's A, the badger mole.
Okay.
Yay!
Yeah, I don't know if they were blind like her, but they taught her the whole, do this to move stuff. This
I think she
one
did say they were blind, I think.
might be. Okay, what is the traditional age for the Avatar to be informed that they are the Avatar? And at what age was Aang told?
Like 15 or 16.
Is that when they're supposed to be told, or
No, wait, 300.
wait, what?
I'm guessing off the top of my head.
You think they're 300 when they're told they're the Avatar?
I mean, unless we are frozen nice, like how Aang was. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Well, that
10?
was an anomaly.
All right, I'm going to say 15 or 16 years old.
10?
Okay. Kaiju, I'm gonna give you partial credit for that, Kaiju. They're supposed to be informed when they turn 16, but Aang was informed when he was 12 because they sensed something was coming up.
Okay. Yeah, I get partial credit for that.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. What city does King Boomy reign over?
Omashu.
I don't know.
It's Omashu. Pretty sure one of these choices isn't even an Avatar thing. And this is one of the multiple choice ones that you kind of have to know all the choices. Who is not one of Azula's best friends? Ursa, Ty Lee, May, or all three are Azula's best friends?
A.
Definitely A.
You say A, Ursa is not one of her best friends?
Yeah.
Ursa.
That is correct. Ursa was her mother. Okay. Who is not, again, not a member of the Freedom Fighters? What? This Smellerbee, Longshot, Jet, or all three are members of the Freedom Fighters?
All three are members.
What was A again?
A was Smellerbee.
All of them.
Yeah, all of them. That had me like, wait a minute, this is a trick question. Okay, what is the name of the waterbender that eventually trains Katara?
She's old, right? I'm blanking out on her name, but I'm trying to remember her description.
Baku.
Kaiju?
I don't know, to be honest.
It's Paku.
Okay.
Yeah. Only two of the choices they gave were actual waterbenders, but okay. This one you kind of have to know. Are the plant benders of the Foggy Bottom Swamp considered earthbenders, waterbenders, neither, or both?
I don't remember.
That is a really
Oh my.
tough question. I would say, honestly, probably Earth, to be honest.
Oh, see, now I'm thinking it's either just waterbenders or both. Because, like, they're bending the water in the plants.
So I'll say both.
But they're
Wait,
really.
there's people that can be both?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I'm just going to say waterbenders and then see how this turns out. Okay. When
Well,
Sokka,
both.
when Sokka trains with Piandao in the art of sword fighting, Sokka makes a sword out of what material?
Some kind of
Steel.
rare gem thing.
I don't know.
I got. Well, like the choices that they give are iron, platinum, gold, or meteorite.
Meteorite.
I would say platinum.
It was a meteorite.
Crap.
That's why he called it space sword.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that actually makes sense.
it's like there it is right there. Good old space sword. Right. Okay. Gyatso was Aang's guardian, but also friends with which preceding avatar?
Roku?
Yeah,
Sure, Roku.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, as a preceding avatar, Roku was immediately before Aang. Of course, it would have been around long enough for, yeah. Okay. Long Fang is the leader of which elite military unit?
Choices?
The Royal Earthbender Guards, Council of Five, the Dai Li, or the Kyoshi Warriors?
Dai Li?
First one?
First, the Royal Earthbender Guards?
Yeah.
It was the Dai Li.
Okay.
Wow.
Yes. And last question, we just talked about this, so one of y'all needs to get it right. How did Zuko get the scar on his face?
From his daddy.
I'm just gonna read you the choices because one of these is hysterical. He
That-
burned himself cooking. His father Ozai gave it to him in a duel. His sister Azula burned him while practicing firebending, or none of the above.
It was from his dad.
He burned himself cooking. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, Todoroki from My Hero technically happened to his eye when his mom dropped boiling water on him or something.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even watch that show, so I never even thought about it, but I've seen him in my mind. I'm like, oh my god, that wasn't supposed to be like that?
I know.
Good grief. Oh man. Right, so that was the trivia portion of this evening.
Yay.
Yay.
Like,
Who won, by the way? I'm guessing.
well, I confess I was not keeping score in that second quiz.
Well,
But
at least I won the first one.
What
Yeah.
matters is that we have fun.
for the sake of the first quiz, it's a tie.
Okay.
And your prizes are the fun you had along the way.
Yep.
Oh my
And I
god.
definitely learned a fair amount, like from different opinions, and not different opinions, but different like perspectives about the show.
Yeah,
So,
people who've seen more of the show than you have.
yeah, like I said, it took me a good couple of years just to get to the second season. So,
Right. Like whenever you
My
Sorry.
friend who got me into Avatar, she said she watched Avatar like all of it 10 times and Korra 5 times.
I mean, I've watched Evangelion like 6 times, like once per year, and Gurren Lagann like 4 times, once per year, like just to see if it still holds up.
Right. I mean, I've seen Last Airbender considerably more than I've seen Korra. Not to say that I didn't enjoy it because I was actually watching that as it came out, but Airbender just had a lot more to it than Korra did.
Hmm. Well, I have a lot to catch up on before. Well, I'm most likely I'm gonna watch the live action show when it drops. So that's gonna be a game plan. Then
Right.
continue off of the TV show and then Korra.
Yeah. I would say, and whenever you get the chance, definitely give the movie a watch.
Oh yeah,
It's I'm gonna admit it's not the best, but it's still considerably entertaining for what it is.
bad entertainment or like somewhat trash entertainment.
Ah, I don't know how to answer that because, like I said, I think of it as a standalone, and that's how I can sit through watching it again and again and again.
Right.
But yeah, I'm like go into it thinking this is not going to be spectacular, and see
Oh
what
yeah.
your impression is coming out of it.
Not the first time I've had like small, low like expectations, like really, 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 really low. I mean, I had really low expectations from the Dragon Ball movie.
Right. I mean, and that depending on what you're watching really the best way to go. You go in with low expectations. If it's amazing, you're blown away. If it's subpar, you're not surprised.
I mean, like I said, I'm not even gonna bark up the death in the movie alley.
What
It's
was that, a movie or was that a series?
yes, it was a Netflix movie, a whole ass movie.
I have no intention of watching it for a lot of reasons. All I will say, the only thing they did right was casting Willem Dafoe.
Yep, as Ryuk. Yep,
Yeah. I mean, the guy's made for doing villains. He's just got that voice.
Green Goblin.
Capitalize on it, people.
Yeah, and like stupid.
Well, to be fair, IQ is only part of the equation.
No, on the live action Death Note movie, he's stupid. He's really dumb. Like
Like,
he doesn't even
Isn't
share the
there,
sociopathic traits.
aren't there
hmm.
Japanese live actions of it
Yes,
too?
there is actually.
Yeah, and I saw one of
I
them.
did.
How was the Japanese one?
I honestly don't remember a lot.
Hmm.
But
I
like,
I
I
know that there
never.
was a host club one too. I want to watch it
There is a
someday.
host club series, and I've seen it.
Oh,
It's
series.
it's hilarious.
Oh,
and the Black Butler live action movie.
That I have mixed feelings about.
I've never seen that. I saw the
I
trailer for
heard
it.
it
It looks
was
promising. It kind of has a Sherlock Holmes vibe to it.
And I don't know if this is better or worse for y'all, but there was a dub of the live action movie with the dub voice actors from the anime doing
That's
the
the one I
same
saw. I
same
distinctly remember that when I
doing
watched
what?
it. Dub.
yeah. Like the live action Black Butler movie.
Oh
Oh,
It
yeah.
has really the only thing that's even, this is something from the anime is Sebastian. Maybe the Undertaker too, but that's hit or miss, but the voice actors for those characters, actually all the characters, voice do the dub for the characters in the live action movie. Like J. Michael Tatum dubs the live action Sebastian. Whoever the protagonist is gets dubbed by Brina Palencia because she's kind of the CL figure.
right.
Um, yeah, and new characters or this I think are just voiced by other actors from the Black Butler dub. I still
Hmm.
don't really understand the movie. I'm gonna have to sit and watch it all over again, but Hiro Mizushima is not terrible as Sebastian. But I
I
will
forgot who played Light in the live action Death Note.
the Japanese one,
Yeah,
or
yeah, that one. Yeah.
I have no idea. But I will say this, the Rurouni Kenshin live action movies, amazing.
I've seen
That's what I've heard too.
Like they could not cast a better actor to play Kenshin.
I mean, I've seen a couple fights
Mhm.
in the movie.
He looks good too as Kenshin too. Like,
Yes.
with the hair.
Yes.
Like,
Oh my gosh. He is perfect.
are you watching the anime remake?
I am. I'm seriously backlogged. I need to keep watching, and I need to watch the dub because
Yeah,
more
I'm
than
watching
anything,
it
I'm like,
dubbed
is it the
because
same voice actor?
it sounds similar, especially Kenshin. It sounds similar to the Toonami version.
I have not seen the remake yet, Guilty as Charged, and I love Rurouni Kenshin. I have not seen the remake for the anime.
It's a lot
Yeah.
closer to the manga, I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
Dude, Kenshin and Kaoru get married. I do distinctly remember
In
that.
in the
in the-
manga, yes, I'm fairly certain the anime is gonna go all the way, cover the entire story.
Yeah, they are.
Because like we never got to meet Enishi in the anime, but the movies took care of that.
Yeah.
All I will
Yeah, but
say,
the movies kind of sucked.
Samurai X
I
was
haven't
okay.
seen those movies yet, so I'm gonna reserve
Oh,
judgment.
okay.
Takeru Sato will get a pass from me.
I think like Studios Dean's art style for those, it makes Ken like the characters in Kenshin look ugly.
I have a question. Why did they make Hanya red?
Why they make what?
Why did they make Hanya red? Like they swapped the color palette for Hanya.
Yeah.
The dude with the
Well,
long arms, the
Well,
long reach.
I don't remember what he looked like in the original anime, so I can't
Bloody
really.
mask, blue, has a burnt up face, almost looks like a zombie without the mask.
Well, and here's the thing. I compare this to the remake of Fruits Basket. Because if anyone who's seen the original anime of that knows that Kyo's bracelet was white and black,
yep.
but when she asks him what it's made of, he says it's made of bone and that the dark beads are colored with blood or something. And when they
Yeah.
remade that, the beads are red instead of black.
Wait, so were the beads in the manga red too, I'm guessing?
Yes. I think the Fruits Basket remake and Rurouni Kenshin remake are following a lot closer to details from the manga.
And the Fruits Basket remake is amazing.
It's
I've only seen the original.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
original has its own charm too.
well, the
They
remake was
definitely-
split into 2 parts.
3 parts.
Oh, 3 parts, yes. But it's worth it because I'm like, great. I remember when the manga ended. I'm like, you
I did
get to
too.
rip your heart open all over again.
I'm trying to think of an anime that actually made me tear up a little bit. Definitely Gurren Lagann is one of them.
Oh, so good.
I
I
mean,
saw the recap movies in theaters recently.
I did not see the movies yet. I have not seen
Oh,
but I've only seen the show, but that's about it.
Fairy Tale made me cry a lot.
Seeing the first 50
yeah.
episodes, I don't have any emotion towards it. I don't know why, but it's.
Oh my
feels
god.
Like, feels
I
like
like-
a robot, but like I did not have any emotion or any attachment to
Aw.
it.
I mean,
Speaking
I'm
of
that
Fairy
kind
Tail,
of person. I'll cry over stuff, not easily, but if
Same.
something's sad or sweet, it's not going to take a lot.
Right, exact. Same for me. Like as long as they're there enough to have impact. Yeah.
Right. And I'm trying to think the last one. I mean, Naruto had a lot of moments
Oh,
that
yeah.
made me tear up.
Whole fight between Sasuke and Naruto is just.
Oh my god.
The Storm 5
I
and
have
made me tear up a little bit.
Yes.
for the
The one-
manga. I almost have all of the volumes of the original Naruto.
Yes. The one that got me the most in Naruto was during the Great Shinobi War when Gaara meets his father.
Oh my
That
god!
whole thing, that flashback, I'm like, you find out the truth behind it. I'm like, oh, you poor baby. I'm like, he needs a hug,
He
please.
does.
Oh my gosh. I mean, and I cried the first time I heard his backstory with information withheld, such as it is. But then when you find out more to that story, it's like, Oh my god, you poor thing.
Have you tried reading manga?
I did once when
Me too.
Itachi died, and
Oh,
oh dear
I would
God,
I tuned up a little bit.
Black
I cried
Black
when
Butler.
Neji died too.
That's what got me over spoilers. I spoiled that for myself, and then when the anime got to it, I'm like, oh my god, that's right, he dies.
In high school, like around when he like died in the anime, my because my physics teacher wasn't the anime teacher, just said it, and I hadn't watched it yet, and I'm like, he died.
There was, and spoiler alert for anyone who isn't there or doesn't read the manga, Black Butler. The manga that I was reading, because I wait for the volumes to come out in English, that manga hadn't gotten to this point yet, but I don't know why I was looking this up. I looked up Agni's profile on the wiki page,
Oh,
but it described in paragraph form what happened to him. And just reading that, I'm like, I don't even have any context. I'm sobbing just reading this off my phone. And then
it
I
happens to me too.
buy the volume and I open it. I'm like, oh my god, this is it. I'm putting this down. I'm not crying in front of my family.
Never
I'm
read
so
the manga
excited
with Black Butler
for the
either.
new season.
Copy? Yeah, I still have a copy of the
All
first
I
one.
want to know is who killed him. I don't give a who this new CL is. That's a separate issue with me.
Aloys
Yeah,
is also
Who
a
killed
brat.
I
Agni?
really
That's what
gotta
I
get
want to
back.
know.
I really gotta get back into reading a manga. I can't believe there's over
Yes.
30 volumes now.
Oh,
Also, we can
I
establish
need
Aloys
answers.
is a brat.
That well,
Aloys, the blonde-haired kid, he's a
yeah,
He's
brat.
not canon.
we knew
But,
that.
yeah, he's a butthole. I don't like him.
He's
I know someone who's obsessed with him and cosplays him.
I get the cosplays him thing, but and I had this idea because I don't know if I still want to do it, but I had thought about cosplaying Alois Trancy, and I'm like, get somebody to dress as Claude, and here's a photo op. Do
I
like,
would I would like Alois if he wasn't a brat.
yeah, I'm like, here's a photo op. Get a picture of Claude kneeling in front of Alois, and then reverse it where like Alois is, at Claude's feet, and just put the caption, "Who's really the master? You decide."
I
I
don't
just
know
like
if
the
you
current
guys know Fire Emblem, but there's a character in Fire Emblem Three Houses, and there's a character named Claude too. So when
Um,
you say Claude, I think of that Claude too.
yeah,
He's really funny.
that whole season was like, what the is going on?
I've seen like bits and pieces of it, like seeing this stuff, but I've
I
never actually sit down to watch it because I know it's all filler.
I saw it in Japanese. I
Oh
saw it
my
again
god.
when it got dubbed. I still don't freaking understand. The only part of it I liked was the OVAs.
Me
Will
too.
Tales of Will the Reaper and Ciel in Wonderland. Those were the only good ones. The
Ciel in
making the
Wonderland
making
is
of
so good.
the making of Black Butler was like, do we need this? What the
That's kind of pointless. I know that's like not appreciative with behind the scenes stuff, but I'm like, it's kind of pointless with like plot and
It's
whatnot.
like it's mock behind the scenes stuff because it's
Yeah.
like the characters are actors playing the characters. I'm like, we don't need this, really. I mean, oh my god. And I still have to properly watch Book of the Atlantic. I saw
I do
Book
too.
of Murder, Book of the Atlantic. Book of Murder was great.
Yeah, I saw that a long time ago.
I
Probably
read
right
that
when
in
it
the
came out.
manga before the anime came up, and I'm like, okay, this is like I don't this is some acid trip here. But Book of the Atlantic is like Frankenstein meets Titanic.
Yeah.
I mean, you really can't hide the similarities to Titanic.
I do distinctly
I
remember
still
seeing a
can't
couple
believe I was in high school when that came out. I'm so old.
You're so old. I was out of high school when that came out.
I distinctly remember, like, back in 2014, 20, no, when did Black Butler drop? Like, as in, like, the release date?
Like the first season.
Yeah, I remember
Oh
it
my
being a
gosh.
big thing, like, probably back in 2013, 2012, maybe.
I
Everyone
First
was talking
season
about it.
was 2008
uh
or 2007.
in the anime, I think the Japanese version started airing 2000. It ran 2008 to 2010.
Okay, so that
The
was far
yeah,
off.
the dub was probably not far behind. And oh, Book of Circus. I forgot about Book of Circus.
Whew.
There's uh mm,
Undertaker has a big ass scythe.
yeah, and let's not get into that weirdo.
I like him. He's cool.
I remember
I
a
like the main
friend of
character.
mine was talking to me. She was obsessed with it. She loved Sebastian. She loved CL, and I'm like, okay, I hear these names. It means nothing, but this is back when Funimation had full series on YouTube.
I'm
Although
gonna miss Funimation.
I think they had just the first 4 episodes dubbed, and I watched it on YouTube. I get through all 4 dubbed episodes, and I'm like, damn it, Julia, I hate you for getting this in my head. I'd
I
actually message her. I'm like, I am so mad at you. She's like, why? I'm like, because I can't stop watching
No one
this.
cares about the Undertaker at all, but me.
Well, I'm not gonna say I don't care, but he's. I liked him better when he was the weird, kooky old guy in the store, and now
Yeah.
there's something else going on. I'm like, turn back, turn back.
I mean, he's the Grim Reaper. He's a
He's
Shinigami.
a Grim Reaper,
Yes, that's
which,
also why I like him too. And plus, he has gray hair.
oh
And
my god, the actor who played him in the stage musicals, which I've only seen 2 of 3, third one I didn't
There's
see stuff.
musicals.
yeah, there
Oh
is.
yes,
There's like how
and
Oh.
they have a, they recast the first one they did, second one they did. They redid that one with all but 2 of the characters played by the same actors.
hmm.
Like all the, no, yeah, 2 of the characters were the same. They recast everybody else. I'm like, all right, whatever. Third one I saw, but it was not subbed, so I'm like, I
Oh.
have only half an idea what y'all are saying. But that third musical was the Jack the Ripper arc of the anime.
Oh.
I
Yeah,
distinctly remember that part and the.
but I remember the actor playing the Undertaker was the same in all of them, and this guy was good. He did the voice like up and down and thing. And in one scene where there was a lull in the action, he starts singing one of the Undertaker's character songs.
Hmm.
I'm like, this is breaking the fourth wall a little bit. I kind of like it. Like, Undertaker. It's hilarious. But
I
um,
kind of related to Black Butler, but um I started playing what's it called? Twisted Wonderland, but then I ran out of space on my phone.
oh yes.
Oh yeah, I've heard of things about that. One of my friends is a Twisted Wonderland fan. I'm like, yeah,
So
I
on
haven't
the
looked
Black
into it. I
Butler,
haven't looked into it, so I just know it's like Disney meets Black Butler
yeah.
type of deal.
But
And it's
Yeah,
on
made,
and it's by Yana Toboso too.
yeah, it's made by
yeah,
Stan Creator.
on the Black Butler front, I know that there is going to be another anime continuing on after Book of the Atlantic,
I
covering the
am
whole
so
school arc.
excited. But like I don't like the way that they do like CL's hair lighting. Like kind of makes it look like little blobs.
I mean, that is what it is to me, but once if they move past that, if we start getting into some of the serious that's going
That could be
on,
so
I'm
juicy.
like, there's a lot of things I need answers to, like who the is this double who's calling himself CL?
I
Oh,
can't wait to get to that. Oh my god.
I'm like,
I
they're like,
really hope they cover that.
but here's the thing, they're saying this is the real CL Phantom Hive, the guy you all knew as an imposter. He's his dead twin brother who stole his identity. I'm like, okay, if that's true, what's the other twin's name? They
Uh-huh.
can't both be named CL. Yeah, fight me on this, YouTube. I don't care.
Also, we're going off topic. Well, we've been off topic for
Oh,
like
yeah.
Oops.
I was
how
gonna
long?
say that
Okay.
the Avatar portion of this evening has clearly wrapped itself up because we don't know
Yep.
what we're talking about anymore. So as far as you, the YouTube community, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna include the guest info in the description. Check their pages out, like, subscribe to this, follow us, and all the same. Have a good night.
You too.
Avatar: The Last Airbender Netflix drops this Thursday, February 22nd.
Interesting
hold
it's on a Friday.
Well, I was like, I'm not sure what day of the week it is, but it is February 22nd. So
Yeah,
it's a
check it
it
out.
looks like
Thursday.
it lands on a Wednesday.
They
No, it lands on a
get a
Thursday.
Netflix account just to watch it. Watch it with your friends. Still check it out. Have a good night, guys.
All right, later.
Bye.
All right, that was